please. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. This is the nightly broadcast of, we'll say, very early broadcast, depending on where you are. I'm just gonna catch up on what has been happening. It's been a busy day for me, and also I know it's been a weekend for some, and also a lot of engagement you try to catch up on during the weekend. But at the same time, yeah, I'm gonna show up every day and do it again and then again and get better at it. It is what it is. So a lot of our stories are coming from Nigeria, and also some from the West also. It's quite interesting. I just want to start with the security situation, and also with the movie The Herd. I learned that I've not been able to watch it. I'm planning to watch it as soon as I get the opportunity to, but there's been some criticisms that I think has been out there with respect to the movie. Just trying to see if I can get one or two here. Let me see. The Ed movie. Now, this guy, we all know, he is a, he tries to critique everything. It tries to critique everything. So the Ed movie is a poor attempt in trying to represent our reality in Nigeria. While the movie can be praised for its visuals and cinematography, the film pushes negative stereotypes, has a poor storyline, and the ending, which is, you put your movie out there, you should be open to criticisms, right? The negative stereotype. The movie portrays the Hausas as bandits and the Yorubas as accomplices, as those were the only language spoken by the criminals. This gives the impression that certain crime is based on ethnicity or region. I don't know what you think about that. I've not seen the movie. I think I would watch it and then I'll make up my mind. Again, this is just someone's opinion. That may not necessarily be true. That may not necessarily be correct. The churches were also portrayed as an accomplice to the insecurity issue we face. And lastly, the police who abandoned the search for other victims after rescuing just two shows gross incompetence. Again, it's a movie. It's a movie, okay? It's not, you don't expect movie to be like word for word or portray the exact reality on ground. They have to embellish it in such a way that it's going to be catchy to the audience. And I'm just saying, errors in the movie. Okay, talking about Abiba, talking about Igbo victims, okay? The bandits claim that the victims didn't know Abiba could understand English. Meanwhile, in the movie, Abiba demanded ransom. Again, this is just opinion. Let me see. Oh, they had 2015. 16 plus a 2-hour movie. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can watch that and see what comes out of it. Yeah, and people are kind of agreeing that, it's a cinematic misfire that despite impressive visuals and technical execution fails to engage with the complexity of Nigerian reality, opting instead for shallow tropes and narrative conveniences. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But it is what it is. Again, there's been a lot of back and forth, with respect to the situation in the country. Everything is now at a crescendo level where things are getting really, really hot. And it is what it is. We continue to call for free and fair elections. So this is Sarah Ibrahim, one of the top obedient associate of, I would say, Peter Obi. The APC government is destroying democracy in Nigeria. Political parties in Nigeria are now under siege. This must stop. The obedient movement will not back down. Not now, not ever. We must protect Nigerian democracy. Maurice Moye had every reason to be angry. Having spent over 40 million of his personal money, he doesn't enjoy none of the benefit extended to those whose only contribution to the movement is tweeting from morning to night. They fly with Obi to eat breakfast in London and lunch in Frankfurt. Okay, Obedient Saga. It is what it is. I listened to... Okay, so this is a 2021 tweet or a post from AIT. And this guy is Sheikh Gumi. His name is out there. I mean, his name trended yesterday. Let me see what he has to say.
We are under pressure to fight government that has helicopters, is bombarding us. So you remove the pressure, the need for the money is there. When you go there, you don't see any luxurious life. You don't see any luxurious life at all. They are living in huts. They have nothing. They drink sometimes from the stream. So I don't think we can say that they are used to a luxurious life that they won't live it. Actually, they don't even know it with all the money they get.
Sheikh, like you said, they are under pressure. Government is bombarding them, and according to what you say, they are saying that it looks like they're under attack. So maybe they're acquiring weapons to protect themselves. But then again, if the pressure is that much, why don't they renounce banditry? And are they also considering the lives of those that they are also taking, and the lives of people that they are also making, unlivable?
Okay, so let me get this straight. They're not happy with the government. They're living in certain miseries. Then because I'm not happy with the government, I have to kill somebody or unalive somebody. It doesn't work that way. This is 2021. This is where the excuses that they were giving, and now the whole thing has boomeranged, and the whole country is feeling it.
Okay, you see, if they leave banditry, they won't have source of financing their war machine. The question you asked, why are they fighting them? You see, the herdsmen has gone through a lot of hardship. No government has really actually sat down to see into their flight, to modernize them, to even spend anything. Not one kobo of our Nigerian budget goes to them. And now they feel they...
Well, this was in AIT Sheikh 2021 interview. I wish I can go and listen to the whole interview. This is the same guy that was saying that the Ed movie is biased. This is not right. This is just not right. What is it talking about? What's not right there? He's a terrorist, exactly. Call him who he is, right, and leave explanation. Call him who he is, right? Leave explanation. Bashar Ahmed, if you look at Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Jordan, and Egypt, they all have one thing in common. They do not allow Wahhabist indoctrination and radicalization by any Islamic scholar. That's why those places are relatively peaceful today. Being an Islamic scholar to preach and give sermon is vetted and strict. I've been to nearly all of these countries except Saudi, but I know for a fact that Saudi even has the strictest rule before you can be allowed to preach. They've seen the danger of religious miscalculation and indoctrination. Exactly. We allow every kind of stuff. And that's crazy. The Director General of the Department of State Services, Mr. Tosi Andiola, briefing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the security situation on Friday night. I hope the briefing went the way it should go, because it's becoming dire and it's becoming crazy. Peter Obi has weighed in on Nnamdi Kanu's conviction, and I just want to read that. It's a long ride. Kanu's conviction at a time like this, the news of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's conviction should compel every well-meaning Nigerian to pause and reflect. Okay? We're reflecting, we're pausing. This is coming at a time when our beloved nation is facing severe economic hardship, insecurity, and the consequences of poor governance. Rather than reducing tension, This unfortunate development may well only aggravate it. I've always maintained that Mazi Kanu should never have been arrested. Oh, okay. His arrest, detention, and now conviction represents a failure of leadership and a misunderstanding of the issue at stake. Okay, for years, I've consistently argued that dialogue, constructive engagement, and inclusive governance offer the path to lasting peace. Coercion becomes necessary only when reason has been exhausted. In this case, I submit that the reason was not only not exhausted, but was probably not explored at all, or not fully explored. The concerns Kanu raised were not unheard of. The issue for which he demanded solutions were not insoluble. It only required wisdom, empathy, and a willingness to listen. In any functional society, such grievances are met with dialogue and reforms aimed at strengthening unity. The government's approach has only deepened mistrust and created an unavoidable distraction at a time when citizens are overwhelmed by harsh economic realities and insecurity. Hi, welcome to the show, Fash. While some may insist that the law has taken its course, leadership often demands more than a strict, mechanical application of the law. Nations around the world resort to political solution, negotiated settlements, and even amnesty. When legal processes alone cannot serve the broader interests of peace and stability, Nigeria is not an exception. So he's saying that nothing should have been done to Nnamdi Kanu. There's been a lot of school of thoughts, and I listened to one interview today with Channels TV at Abuja, where one of the individuals who was involved in the case, he was a prosecutor, came to talk from his own side of the whole story. Now, I may not totally agree with what he said, but he was of the opinion that the whole thing went the way it should. Again, that's his opinion. I'm all for having a political solution, but that also should come come with certain agreements and certain stuff to turn the Southeast to a peaceful region once again. The handling of Kanu's case mirrors the government as a man trapped in a hole, but who, instead of looking for a way out, keeps digging deeper. It worsens not only the government predicament, but also the nation's collective condition. If we truly desire a new Nigeria, a united, peaceful, and progressive one, our leaders must choose healing over hostility, reconciliation over retaliation, and dialogue over division. You can see the rhyme there, right? Only by addressing grievances with justice, fairness, and compassion can we move towards a future where Nigeria feels heard, valued, and saved. My ultimate call at this time, without prejudice to how anyone feels about the decision of the court, is for us to be optimistic for peace and reconciliation, which will come in the end. I'm also saying thereby that the presidency, the Council of State, and the credible statement who love this country and who are interested in cohesion and inclusivity should rise to the occasion for a lasting solution. So this is Peter Obi's take on the whole matter. And look at the first reply: don't kill our terrorists, don't arm our terrorists. What else should anyone expect from a man who once claimed that the same violent gang butchering his own people aren't terrorists simply because he feels comfortable breaking bread with them? Again, I'm saying now, Nnamdi Kanu admitted in his interview that he founded and funded ESN. He issued a stay-at-home order on May 30, 2021, threatening anyone who disobeyed. He ordered that Nkoso be buried with 2,000 human head, of which 30 were procured by his followers. Wow. This is a full list. Now, this guy, I know he's sympathetic to the current government. But this is what he's saying. And this guy is also living in the Southeast. His incitement led to the death of 128 police officers and the burning of 167 police stations. That was the judge. The witness said, Radio Biafra, let's look at this. Radio Biafra, where it broadcasted live, all its atrocities is not licensed to broadcast in any country, according to a witness. Some IPOB and ASF members were captured by Nigerian security while eating human flesh, claiming it was for spiritual fortification. Wow. The statement, people will die and world will stand still, constitute a terrorist act. That was according to the judge. Over 30 Nigerian army personnel were also killed as a result of his incitement, according to the judge. Justice Omotosho classified Nnamdi Kanu as an international terrorist based on his operation, noted that his conduct in the country was also unruly during the trial. Nnamdi Kanu told the prosecutor counsel, God will punish you now forever. Wow, so this was a reply to Peter Obi's tweet. But there was an interview today, and I want to play that. Let's look at this.
When I saw the conduct of...
This is not what I want, but again, let me just... I'll look forward the right one.
You can't be shouting on a judge directly and you think you will do what? There were allegations of killings of so many soldiers by the IPOB, sit-ham at home on Monday. Well, those the Igbo people who even violated the sit at home, so many of them were killed. I was thinking there should be a political solution. And I'm sure after this conviction, maybe the president may grant him pardon. El-Rufai is no longer the governor. Is there no killing? The idea of anyone trying to limit ADC to El-Rufai and Amici, that era has gone.
Okay. So this is going to go more into this thing. I want to actually listen to the real stuff.
This morning we have two gentlemen joining us to talk about this. We have legal practitioner Professor Joshua Olopo. He joins us from our Abuja studios. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Right.
The pleasure is mine.
Yes, and we also have Adebayo Ojo, former Attorney General of Oyo State. He joins us on the program as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
I'm glad to be here.
So, what we ask everybody, your initial thoughts on this judgment and the eventual sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. We all knew the day was coming, but we didn't know, exactly what to expect. So what are your initial thoughts on it?
Well, let me thank you for having me. But I need to set the record straight away that I participated in the prosecution.
Yeah.
We were led by our leader, Chief Solomon.
So I was the one asking for him to be prosecuted.
And also,
okay.
Mr. Suraj Saida, SCA. I'm the third lead counsel in that matter. Yes. You see, the case has a checkered history. It all started in 2015.
Okay, fair
One
enough.
trial, 4 judges. 4 judges. In 2015, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed IPOB, was first arraigned before my Lord Honorable Justice Mohammed Ahmed. Okay. Now, a judge of the Court of Appeal. He was then in Federal Court. Barely at the matter taken off when Nnamdi Kanu objected and said he couldn't get justice from the judge court. And as expected, the judge returned the file to my Lord the CJN.
Okay.
Honorable Justice, to the CJ, as at that time, Honorable Justice Awuta. And the matter was reassigned to my Lord Justice So, who is now the Chief Judge of the Federal Court. He was then in Court 2. He started the matter. Nnamdi Kanu, in his habitual manner, also objected and challenged the impartiality or otherwise of the judge. That judge also recused himself and returned the case file. Then it became the lot of Honorable Joseph Yako to take up the matter. He filed a series of frivolous applications and several appeals, all to delay. And we must face fact and set the fact straight. All delays in that matter. Till last Friday were all at the instances of Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, he pursued an appeal from the Federal Court up to Supreme Court, which was right. He lost. He won in the Court of Appeal, which is what he was holding on to. Whereas he failed to inform people, and likewise his supporters and even his sympathizers, including some lawyers who have been mischievous, they failed to inform and let people that there was appeal. And the Supreme Court set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal on that matter. And the Supreme Court ordered that, remitted the case back to Justice Binta Nyako and said, my Lord Nyako should continue with the trial on those 7 counts. Supreme Court validated all those 7 counts charges and said they should continue. The trial was about to start when he came up with all series of applications again in his manner, until when he realized that he has reached a dead end, no trick for him to play again. And he also accused Justice Nyako of bias. Justice Nyako recused herself. Before Nyako again, he took several appeals again up to the Court of Appeal, which he lost 3 of them. Then Justice Nyako also returned the case for back to the CJ. And it was signed to Honorable Justice Motoso. Let me say, Professor Osekume, SN was in this matter before. He withdrew from the matter. Likewise,
prosecution or defense?
No, defense for him. He was in the matter before. When the man could not go with his antics, the man, in order to save his integrity, withdrew from the case. Then we started before Honorable Justice James Omatoso. Then he was being defended by our leader, one of the respected counsel in the country, Kanu, saying, former Attorney General of the Federation, at the live venture. Chief Onyeka Piasu, one of the best too in the country, one of the 10-ton lawyers. Then Mr. Paul Nukuru was there. Anuge, SN, Nkaso, Akarawe, the best anybody can parade. But unfortunately, and it's very important, which most people don't know, apparently with them, there are 4 gentlemen who are gentlemen, in quote, lawyers too, who are also members of IPOB. And I need to say, I must say, rather than taking objective, professional, and sincere legal advice from those top lawyers, the defendant prefer to listen to those 4 other lawyers who, when the other one withdrew, along with them, he retained those 4 lawyers as his consultant, legal consultant. You see, in this country, there are lawyers. We know ourselves. And the lawyers know themselves. We also know the judges. And believe me, you see, and criminal prosecution and defense is just like a lesser person would say is sui generis, is also in a class of his own. If you are not an expert in criminal prosecution or criminal defense, better don't go there. Allow those who are well versed and trained. Right. And I think Mr. Kanu had the best of lawyers in the Kanu Agabi-led team, which he chose to send away.
Yeah, I think also the issue with him defending himself was quite, to me, unfortunate. Because again, like it or not, okay, even if his belief is that Nigeria is not a justified country, and he doesn't believe in the originality of what Nigeria stands for, again, I mean, there are certain rules that we have to abide by no matter what. So him sacking all his lawyers, turning them to consultants, which I've never heard that been done before, I think in a way also didn't help his case. That's why I'm appealing that, you know, apart from the political solution that he wants to, that people are clamoring for, that is the presidency should come in to pardon him and also seek peace in the Southeast, that he also should also allow the lawyers to do their job, because I believe that judgment would be appealed. Okay, so that's just my thought. But again, I mean, this is a view from his prosecutor. Okay, this is a view from one of his former prosecutor, not necessarily, you know, a view from somebody that really supports him. So a prosecutor would definitely want him to get the ashes sentence. Okay, no matter what. So again, you have to put that in mind if you're listening to what he is saying. Mind you, he was the one that wanted to nail Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah.
You see, and again, I need to say this. All the issues that he raised before my Lord Omotoso had been raised and decided by the Supreme Court. Talk about, it was reported in the Blela.
Free him.
That's foreign and
maybe they might free him.
Talk about this of extra rendition. It had been decided and pronounced upon. And the court said it will not feature the trial, no matter the way you are brought back to face your trial in Nigeria after you ran away. Then he raised the issue of that some laws were repealed. Supreme Court said no. The law is that the mere fact that a law or an act had been repealed does not mean that anything done under that law will go away, because there is always a what we call saving transition in any act, which will preserve what had been done under that law, and it will still go ahead. And Justice Omotoso clearly, pronouncedly, and profoundly pronounced on all those issues. So all the issues that he raised before Omotoso had been dealt with. And what do you expect? We just Omotoso now give a decision contrary to this of the Supreme Court. That will be judicial actuality. So we call 5 witnesses, PW1, PW2.
No, but again, if Justice Omotoso feels that this is the way the law has been written and based on his own interpretation, he should give a different law. I think he should still go a different verdict. Then he should still go ahead, because again, it's going to work his way up to the Supreme Court. And then possibly if the Supreme Court now says, oh, fine, Omotoso, you're wrong, our former decision stands, then I think that's how it works. So again, the fact that Supreme Court has made a judgment on something else, that doesn't mean that the Federal High Court justice or judge cannot still give, his decision based on what he thinks is right, based on the evidences provided to him.
3, 4, 5. Who tender evidences? SEFRA and who tender, apart from giving all evidences in the doc, also put before the court SEFRA exhibit, including video of his broadcast and interview. And he admitted, when he was being interviewed, that I made those broadcasts. You get my point? And through that broadcast, several lives were lost. And you know one thing, he took a gamble. No, as expected, he made a new case submission with the court overruled. The court overruled his case submission. Then he was called upon to make defense. Then he started his habitual manners of delay and what have you again. You get my point? So then he filed several motions, repeating same issues that had been tried and pronounced upon by the Supreme Court. The judge severally dismissed those issues. All that, and it is too elementary that in criminal trial you can't stay proceeding.
Okay. Anyway, there are a whole lot of stuff that have happened as far as this matter is concerned, and what we are getting now is a lot of feedback here and there. Now you've just given us some background as to what happened from your own perspective. But let's also have a conversation with Prof in our Abuja studio. As you know, my colleague asked earlier, what are your initial thoughts about the entire proceeding? It took 10 years. There are those who are referencing the fact that the one that took place in the UK was done with in about a year. The one that took place in Finland was done with in about a year. But this one in Nigeria took 10 years.
Damn.
Does that imply anything
crazy.
in your own, from what you can see? Would you say justice has been served, or you think there are something? What are your thoughts?
First and foremost, we must appreciate the fact that the judiciary have risen to the occasion. And even the prosecuting agency, look at the matter that the United Nations House that was bombed 2012. The trials have just resumed, trial within trial. You see, the delay within the criminal jurisprudence actually create the uproar at the conviction of Kanu. Because if, for instance, our prosecution, which they have done their work hard, the judge has been firm and determined the matter timelessly, the issue will not arise, especially like some person like now, you know about Kabiru Sokoto, some other person, Sunday Igboho, that agitated for Dual Republic and all those. Even in that judgment, my Lord Justice Omotoso acknowledged that Nnamdi Kanu was fighting for self-determination, which is his own constitutional right. within the International Covenant of Peoples and Political Rights. We must appreciate that. That's what the court acknowledged. That even when he cited 1957 of Paul Enahoro, the court said that yes, that he's even getting to know about those particular situations. How about Macaulay was jailed because of his agitation for independence of Nigeria? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that there's nothing novel in this Nnamdi Kanu case. Okay. The only issue was the manner and the tactics employed by Kanu, which have actually generated a lot of sympathy, and law go beyond sympathy. Law is law, emotion is emotion. So first and foremost, we must commend my Lord Justice Omotosho for being firm, for being calm, emotional, intelligent, because if you look at what happened, especially during the judgment that was live televised, you know that I'm not surprised because I was part of Asai Dokubo in 2006, 2007, led by Festus Keyamo. That is the antics of freedom fighter. They can use words on judges. And it wasn't novel at the time. But the only issue in this case was that Nnamdi Kanu has the best lawyer, as my learned senior advocate have asserted. Right from before even Kanu Agabi came, Kazu is one of the best lawyer when it comes to criminal and election matters. Then you also recall that Michael Zokoma at the point was also his lawyer. And if you look at this judgment, before the no case submission was overruled, his lawyer participated in cross-examination of all the witnesses feeded by the prosecution. So now the issue, because some say that the court will have assigned him a lawyer since Section 1 sub 2 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 has amended, carry capital offense. How do you provide a lawyer for someone that have area of senior advocate that have participated holistically? And he get to the point of defense, and he decided that he want to conduct his defense by himself, which is within the realm of the constitutional right.
Yeah.
Because
things will work out for all. Yeah, I think at some point there'll be some resolution. Nigeria is becoming something else.
Section 36 give the latitude to any person to defend himself, either represented by a lawyer of his choice, or defend himself or represent himself. So, and even in my Lord Justice Omotosho also acknowledged that there were some lawyers that he called consultant, which is quite novel in our criminal jurisprudence. And the court allowed them, record their presence. At any given time, they were consulted, or there was conferences. So what I will say is that this is a wake-up call to Nigeria judiciary. Let's be firm. Heaven will not fall once any person is convicted. The only issue is that some feel that some person are above the law. The delay tactics employed, not only Kanu, even by order, because recall that this matter started 2001, not the 2015, because there was a fresh amendment that was a child that was, after he was kidnapped, let me use the word kidnapped from Kenya. Then that was the basis of this particular matter. So I would not like to say from 2015 at the 12, even though some incident backdated to the acts from 2015, but this particular matter commenced in 2021, and that is why we must also look at the judgment. Even though the judgment, the court is under duty to give the mandatory sentence of death penalty. The court does not have discretionary power. One, there's a mandatory provision. But my law bend the law, just with human sympathy, quoting Matthew 23, verse 23, which will normally make as the alluticos. And he tempered justice with mercy. And I keep on saying, if Kanu want call lawyers go to appeal, and the prosecution appeal the sentence, he may even revert from life sentence to death by hanging. And also know that the life imprisonment does not mean that you'll be in prison throughout your lifetime. It's just a duration of 21 years.
Oh, really?
And 21 years.
I don't think that's true. Like, life imprisonment is life imprisonment, except you get early parole or you pardoned. Right? I don't see where life imprisonment becomes 21 years.
The prison calendar, 9 to 10 months make a year. So it's less than 15 or 16 years. And also what the court did not have their mind in this judgment, section 416, sub 2, paragraph E, which is a sentence guidance that once you are convicting someone that are being in custody, the period of incarceration need to be factored, which means from that 2021 that he has been in the custody of DSS, that period have to read. But the judgment said that the sentence commenced from the 20th, which to me is a grave violation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. And although it can be remedied, because that period that he was incarcerated, isolated in DSS, the sentence ought to start from that day. That is 2021 when he was kidnapped.
So let me get this straight, Prof.
Well,
just 1 second.
From Kenya to Nigeria.
When you say that a life sentence is a maximum of 21 years, I want to understand. I thought life meant limitless, till death do us part. Help me understand what you mean by it's just 21 years.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's the position of the Supreme Court.
Really?
And as expert in criminal jurisprudence, the court has defined what constitutes life sentence. Life sentence is not that you're going to be there for life. It's a period of 21 years that constitutes life sentence within Nigeria criminal jurisprudence as decided by the plethora of cases by the Supreme Court.
Okay, let me ask the SAN here. Is that correct? So, or are you saying that it's just a placation? This life sentencing, couldn't the Supreme Court, the court just have?
I studied. I studied apart from law, criminology, and I also took criminology in my undergraduate years at the primary university of Ibadan. And I have not come to here or come and across any law which has fixed licenses to 21 years.
Exactly.
I'm surprised.
That's
but he's a learning professor. We keep on learning every day.
Okay.
So don't let us, we can go on with our subject of discussion rather than
litigate that. Exactly. It doesn't even make sense. How will you say someone is given life? Then just say 21 years, right? Don't even say it's life stuff. Yeah. Does life sentence within Nigeria mean max 21 years? No, a life sentence in Nigeria does not automatically mean a maximum of 21 years. Here's the accurate position under the Nigerian law as of November. Life imprisonment. Prisoners sentenced to remain in prison for the rest of their life. There's no fixed term. Possible only through executive pardon. Yeah, I mentioned that. And rare medical or humanitarian ground. Exactly. Terms of 21 years, 30 years, it is a fixed number of years. Prisoner becomes eligible for parole or remission after serving a portion, usually to third or less, depending on the state. That's if there's a fixed number. So if they give him like a 30 years and it's served to third, then he can actually go for parole. So if they give him 30 years and it's served 20, then he can start going for parole. Yeah, normal remission and parole are prayers if it's a termed stuff. So again, I don't know where he got his own stuff. But it is what it is. Let me just continue. Yeah.
You are a lawyer, okay, on TV.
Okay, now, Prof, let me come back to you very quickly. There are those who are referencing the substance of the issue, the political agitation, and the because it would seem like to a good number of people, it's an open and shut case. I mean, it's pretty much straightforward. There are those who are referencing on the one hand the right, which you also referenced, to self-agitation, the political agitations there. There are those who are saying that the issues of the Civil War have not really been resolved. Yet there are those who are saying that as a result of the pronouncements and activities of the convict now, Nnamdi Kanu, that there have been loss of lives and loss of economic activity, loss of property and all of that. And then there are those who are calling on the president's political intervention. In all of these, which one do you think takes the cake? Okay. Or do you think the only way to go about it is to continue in the judicial path?
The Supreme Court, even in a side document that I participated with Festus Keyamo, the current Minister of Aviation, denying Asari Dokubo Bay that one national security is an issue, that individual right is on hold. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that court is court. Political question cannot be determined by court. It's at this time that I call on the political thought and the leaders of the Indigbo to arise above sentiment and employ the president to invoke Section 175 of the Constitution, because without conviction, they can't be pardoned.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the judgment of Justice Omotosho is even in favor of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, people are saying that Tinubu should intervene. There are two ways, actually, that Tinubu could have intervened even before the judgment. So the federal government could come and say, you know what, despite all the evidences that we've gathered, we're no longer interested in pursuing this case. That has happened over and over again, where they just decide not to go along with the case. They change their mind as the executive, because the prosecutor and all that, work for the executive in a way. Now, that's one. Then the second is, now the judgment has been given, the president can commute the sentence. That means he's still seen as guilty, but he's not going to serve any term in jail. The president can give a full pardon, which means that, you know what, go and say no more. All of the guilt is gone. There is no issue. The president can also do that. So again, even also going to the appeal, also the executive can actually say, you know what, we're no longer interested in pursuing this case. So there are still opportunity. But again, in terms of pardon, which I think the best option is a full pardon, okay, for Nnamdi Kanu, that's the best option for him, is a full pardon. The president he has to be guilty, okay, before granted a full pardon. And I know there are also some other preemptive pardon, like blank pardon and all that. I don't think that is actually being practiced in Nigeria, but that's just the little that I know. I'm not a legal expert, so I might not have conveyed exactly what it is, but that's it.
And I dare say that the deputy speaker, Ben Kanu, and all those that feel that Igbo's party, that is Ebonyi now, that is in APC, Enugu has come to APC, Imo is in APC. If actually they are in APC for the good of the people, they should be able to sit the president down and say, yes, the sit-at-home order will violate the constitutional right of even the citizens of the Igbo, especially those that dwell in the southeast. Now the court has pronounced on it. A lot of people that are agitated on this judgment does not reside in Southeast with all sense of responsibility. They are in Lagos, where they have a lot of freedom of expression. They don't know what people go through, how people suffer. Do you know, apart from Ahmed Gulag that died during the 6-term period of Monday, Justice Stanley Naji also was killed. So now the issue of self-determination and terrorism, how does it arrive? When you incite people, or your message go ahead and record that there's Eastern Security Network which carry arms of the iPod, and record that iPod have been proscribed since 2017. There's no settlement about law. There's no settlement when it comes to law. Even like that, we're talking about whether, look, the problem of Nigeria is that we're not serious. As a people, since 2013, I did my master thesis on Boko Haram, threat to national security and right to life. But we were playing with Boko Haram to have a lot of franchise. In that same 2013, I did a comprehensive work on terrorism, kidnapping, and cybercrime in Nigeria.
Wow.
Based on the invitation of the Benue Judiciary for me to present a paper on cybercrime. I can say. And
again, that is what we're facing right now with respect to Boko Haram and all the splinter, the ISWAP or ISWAP. There's also Ansaru, there's the Boko Haram, and all of the stuff. And again, it's just crazy.
With all sense of responsibility that Nigeria is not ready to fight insecurity. That is why the genocidal aspect is consuming. Not to say that Christian is being a victim. Every person, whether you are a pagan or you are in any religion, there is a genocide currently in Nigeria. And there's no need of differentiating whether it's banditry or kidnapper or any terrorist group. Once you carry arms and put people in a state of fear, that's terrorism. And it's quite clear. And the way the Northerner is pampering it, especially Gumi, we say that it's my people, that we need to look at the poverty line. This is what is creating disconnect. Okay. In as much as there's equality before the law. Let it be in reality.
All right.
Well, look at what the Office of the National Security Advisor have been doing. No, Ribadu is my very good friend.
Okay.
Even
All right,
I
Prof.
was his
You know,
critic
thank
in
you
260
for
when he was the
those
chairman of
perspectives. Right?
EFCC.
Let me bring
when
you
I wrote
to
corruption in the rocks.
just one second, Prof.
explained
Let me bring you to the SAN in our studio here. There are already readings of various other angles to the case. Some are saying, on the one hand, just as I told him, the accused or the convict, the person who has been convicted by the court, should appeal up onto the highest levels and all of those things, as is his constitutional right. Then there are those who are saying, well, we haven't really addressed even though his methodology was faulty, the substance of what the issue was about hasn't really been discussed among the different stakeholders. There are those who are reading political permutations to it and all those things, and now calling for the president's intervention. What are your thoughts on that? And what will the implication of any of that be on judicial?
Let me first say this. Nnamdi Kanu is a very lucky man. You know, under the law, which he faced, he underwent that trial. Once he's found to be guilty and convicted, the judge has told the treasurer to be death penalty. It is death penalty. I did not, up to now, I'm confused as to what way in the minds of the judge to temper justice with mercy.
Guy. It's not that straightforward, bro. You have to read the room. Again, I know that judges and justices are not expected to read the room. Just give your judgment. But again, public opinion, I'll tell you, always also weighs in when they're making their final decision. I mean, giving him the death penalty, bro. How now? When even the ones bombing were given like 20 years, 15 years. And there's even the complaint that his sentencing was very harsh. And I even asked, I asked my AI consultant, I said, okay, what do you think? He said, well, it's harsh, given what has happened and given those that have been convicted and given jail sentences.
Because for some offenses, a judge has no discretion once a defendant has been adjudged guilty. So it is death penalty, not life imprisonment. So the judge was very fair to him. And if he chooses to appeal now, the prosecutor too has the right to cross appeal on that issue of sentencing. And believe me, once it's appeal free, Supreme Court will now impose the appropriate penalty. Yes, that's one thing. Okay, you are talking about the substance of his agitation. Really? Your own right stop where my start. You must not exercise your own right to the detriment of my own right. Look, many lives were lost. Look, where did the Igbos, the people of the Southeast, where did they sit down and met and say, we appointed you, Nnamdi Kanu, to do this for us? No, he's only playing, insulting the intelligence of most people, exploiting the gullibles.
No, so again, I mean, there's no need for them to sit down and appoint him. There are times that leaders, like if you're oratory and you rise and people follow you. Okay, so again, there may have not been a situation or an election where it was told that it needs to represent the people. It's just that the reality of what happened, right, through his activism, through him being outspoken, through him rallying around people, they just chose him as the default leaders. So that's why since the judgment came out, most people in the Southeast, I'll say most, are saying that they should free him. And maybe some people also not in the Southeast, but are also, of that same tribe. So again, you don't need to say, you have to win an election. There are people, like for example, Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, it wasn't as if he was holding an elective position or was a politician. Just wanted to put that there.
And they rode them into senseless, believe me. Did he command any military or any, what do they call it? Look, when the late Ojukwu embarked on civil, the late Ojukwu was a member of the military, trained even in England. You get my point? You see, he has some command then under him, and despite that, what happened? What was the end of his agitation? It failed.
Again, I'm not saying that you need an Ojukwu, okay? Now, in this agitation stuff, you know, there have been people even in the UK when they did this Britain exit, Brexit. Okay, they had to convince people, the politicians and all that. Again, I'm also still looking for the pathway for this agitation to actually become something that works. Number one, someone commented that, you know what, the politicians in the Southeast and the elites really are not working to Nnamdi Kanu's favor, that they're not really moving stuff. It was just until recently that you started seeing all this movement all around trying to actually cut a deal for Nnamdi Kanu. So that's one thing. But again, that doesn't mean that he has to be a general for him to lead, you know, the people to their own self-determination. Just saying.
But look, when this man embarked on this senseless agitation, many lives were lost. It was like him committing genocide if against the people of the Southeast. And if where look at his disciple in Finland, Simon Ekpa. What happened there? He was sentenced to prison as well. Look, no agitation should lead to loss of lives. We must not shed innocent blood of anybody. And like we always quote the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, when he said, my ambition is not worth the life of anybody. Yeah. Look at the several people that he wasted their lives. It was even said that the husband of Professor Akuili was killed, was murdered by ESN in broad daylight. A man who was going about his lawful duties. What are we talking about, the substance? Which substance? Let's forget. If you have, we all have representatives in the Senate, we have in the National Assembly. If too late, let them take it up there, like Dr. Somatos or rightly advise him. Not that we now be incite people to kill others, to kill security agencies, to kill people, ask people not to go out. To me, it is meaningless. And I don't know why, how he was able to hypnotize some of his followers and people who agree with him until today. Some are still supporting.
So again, I think there is something more deep, you know, than just him hypnotizing people. There is the agitation. I mean, there is also the feeling that the region has not been treated fairly in the Nigerian equation. And this is what I will say to it, that, you know what, there must be a path. There must be a way you channel all these things to be able to accomplish your goal. Right now, I think that most people want out of Nigeria. I mean, from the Southeast, they want out of Nigeria. The politicians are not really ready to follow that. Why? Because possibly they are benefiting, you know, from the current Nigerian structure. So again, there are deeper stuffs that has happened over the years, and I'm not going to go into that now.
So senseless to me. It is senseless, believe me. Let's forget about the substance. It's senseless.
No.
Most people won't agree with you, but again,
but, you know, there are some of his supporters, you know, from the Southeast that seem to believe that he did not really commit any real crime. That real crime in quotes, because, I mean, he didn't do any action himself, but I would think that it's conspiracy.
Conspiracy?
It's conspiracy too, because he's the one that called. He didn't like commit the act himself, but he called for action for those acts to be committed.
No, under terrorism, under the Terrorism Act.
Was this the one that killed people?
Incitement alone.
Politicians,
by enemies.
Yep.
That act is comprehensive.
Even economic sabotage.
Yes, I agree with you. Look at Simon Ekpa now.
Yes.
Simon Ekpa did the full step here. He was in Finland and he was making broadcasts. And he's facing the music now.
Yes, well, we are certainly out of time.
So what's the way forward? I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know, and I wouldn't advise as an expert on this issue, because I think there are different levels of agitation, things that have happened in the past, things that has happened now, and all of those. yeah, of course, the politicians are doing more harm than good when it comes to, lives and security of the nation. So at last, I think Sheikh Gumi has spoken.
Okay, why don't you talk about Boko Haram? Why don't you talk about the IPOB? They don't want peace. Those people don't want peace. So we talk with somebody who wants to lay his arms and
wait.
If you're a fan of the social media, whenever you hear Gumi, then I have a barrage of missiles coming at me. All because of mispresentation. People are saying, okay, why don't you talk about Boko Haram? Why don't you talk about the IPOB? They don't want peace. Those people don't want peace. So we talk with somebody who wants to lay his arms and rehabilitate it into being a human being. So this is, in short, what I've been doing and why I'm leveled with all the names you hear. You scholars.
Wow.
I know you understand, and pardon me for that. To give an example, myself, in a very notorious area that is between Abuja and Kaduna, because that is where they kidnap the rich people. We gathered them, spoke to them, and I promised them one thing. I will build a school for you, and you will be the one that will build the school. We have seen how America now is threatening Venezuela for different reasons, for economic reasons we know all. So the reason that there is a genocide in Nigeria is just an excuse. They just want that excuse. Lack of education, unemployment. So when I understand that our herdsmen are suffering from this too, you can imagine now, if we select maybe 10 people here, keep them with the cows alone, there's no communication with the outside world of the civilization. Come back in 1 year and see how these 10 representatives will be. They will be mowing like a cow. Now in Nigeria, if you're a fan of the social media.
Okay, so I don't even understand what you're saying. Poverty and what? Lack of education, leading them to kill other people. There is poverty almost everywhere across the country. The politicians have destroyed the country. So how is that justified for you to then go and kill others? So you are talking about the outcome. You're not talking about the deep-rooted cause of why they would even do that in the first place. Because I know before 2009 and 10, when this thing started becoming a big menace, there's been poverty, there's been lack of education. So what changed? I'm going to listen to all he has to say, and I will react to it. I'll try and put the link down if someone wants to just watch the whole thing without my reaction.
Whenever you hear Gumi, then I have a barrage of missiles coming at me. All because of mispresentation. My dear brothers, you are all ulama. And you are more likely to understand. We found ourselves in an eye of the storm of insecurity which you are discussing, and we found the reason. The basic reason is what all this erudite professor has been saying. Lack of education, unemployment. These are the two evils. So when I understand that our herdsmen are suffering from this too, you can imagine now, if we select maybe 10 people here, keep them with the cows alone, there's no communication with the outside world of the civilization. Come back in 1 year and see how these 10 representatives will be. They will be mowing like a cow. If you don't give man education, he'll be an animal. So I said, the best way to curb insecurity is to go and see the source of the insecurity. In trying to go there and establish contact with them and open channels for them to get educated, then it became a problem. Why is Dr. Gumi? He knows where they are. When I go with the police. I don't go alone. I go with the government. It's not a one-man's mission. I carry everybody along, invited by state governors. Please come and speak to these people.
Exactly. So what's this man talking about? People remain under marginalization. Exactly. So those are the deep-rooted reasons that I spoke about. How Emmanuel, I don't even know who is interviewing this terrorist sheikh. A man that has been banned by nearly all Arab nations. It's a shame to our country. I fully agree with you. I mean, this guy can't step into Saudi. Okay, they don't even want to have anything to do with this guy. They don't want to have anything to do with someone that supports terrorism. Okay, and again, he's coming out to say, you know what, you have to negotiate. You don't negotiate with someone killing someone.
And this is what we have been doing. So to give an example, myself, in a very notorious area that is between Abuja and Kaduna, because that is where they kidnap the rich people. We gathered them, spoke to them, and I promised them one thing: I will build a school for you, and you will be the one that will build the school. So we got a place in the grazing area. We built a school for them. Now, if you go to that place, Janjala, there are more than 2,000 herdsmen with their women and children learning, becoming human beings. This is what I want government and non-governmental organizations to take the bull by their hands. I once met a president, a former president. I told him, I heard on the YouTube, the richest man in Nigeria or in Africa saying, you made them billionaires. Billionaires not in naira, but in dollars. And the whole crowd was clapping and hailing. So when I met this former head of state, I said, look, we have billionaires you've met. Why didn't you talk to them? Let them assist us in building schools all over our forests. He said, I will try. I said, sir, it's more than trying. If we want to save this nation, we have to educate. We can't expect the government to do it. But since we have rich men, and rich men from that area, if we talk to them as ulema, you know how rich men, when you go to their doors, they think you're coming to beg for your own self. He said, I will try. And I think he's still trying. We don't get cooperation, neither from government, neither from the political influenciers, neither from the rich men. So these people are left there forced into being criminals because of lack of education and lack of employment. How do they have lack of employment? It is because for a long time their cattle was rustled and everybody was it's just a news in the newspaper. I used to be in Lagos.
Who was rushing it? Shegumi is so shameless. Why did he run? These are the people who are supposed to be prosecuted. Exactly. I mean, he should be. He should be. Like, because your cattle are rustled, then you're going to villages to kill people. I don't even understand the equivalence between that and human life. You don't have any right to take another person's life. It's as simple as that.
In 1982 to 85, and with Nigerian Airways, I fly from Kaduna to Lagos. Before, in the 80s, when you take off, you will see white patches where you see cattle rearing. But today, from Sokoto to Kaduna, Kaduna to Lagos, you will not see one single patch. All cattle were most rustled. They don't have occupation. They don't have education.
By who? By who? I don't know what he's talking about. The world is changing. There were a lot of things that you see years ago that now you don't see anymore. It's just the way life is. Okay? That is not an excuse for a group of people who have determined to invade the whole country as far as going north central, moving towards the south, to cause mayhem and havoc.
So they are forced into this. How do you know they are forced? Because when you go into them and ask them, do you want peace? They will say, yes, yes, we are tired, we want peace. So people are saying, okay, why don't you talk about Boko Haram? Why don't you talk about the IPOB? They don't want peace. Those people don't want peace. So we talk with somebody who wants to lay his arms and rehabilitate it into being a human being. So this is, in short, what I've been doing and why I'm labeled with all the names you hear. You scholars, I know you understand, and pardon me for that. Our relationship with the Southwest has been old. I think it's high time this congregation and the Northern congregation will unite and form a powerful political bloc. This is how the Jews, about 6 million in the world, are controlling like states like America, where there are more than 400 million people. Why? Because they are one bloc.
What is he talking? How did we move from the problem of Nigeria to Jews? And block and control. Like in this whole speech, he's talking about control again. We're talking about stop killing people. We're talking about not shoot. I mean, there's an alliance already. Tinubu is there. And I'm not sure he's even able to contain the problem.
If the Muslims in the Southwest and the Muslims in the North will come together in a congregation and have a consensuous leadership, honestly, the story is finished.
What?
I hope this kind of conferences will continue, and then we
Muslims in the Southwest and Muslim in the North, so that you guys can also teach Muslim in the Southwest to do what?
merge it into one and elect leaders, officials that will run it. I'm sure Nigerian Muslims will be happy, especially when we are facing an existential threat. Because a colonist, an imperialist, they always have a reason. We have seen how America now is threatening Venezuela for different reasons, for economic reasons we know all. So the reason that there is a genocide in...
Sorry that I'm pausing the video. I just don't understand. This guy has no serious understanding of geopolitical affairs and is just citing stuff based on that. Why is the United States threatening Venezuela? It's not because of their oil. You need to go to the cities in the United States and see people behaving like zombies because of the drug epidemic in the United States. And a lot of these drug cartels operate via Venezuela. They move through Mexico and they what? They kill people in the United States. Almost 100,000 people are dead in the United States every year just based on drug overdose. So that's why Trump is going after Venezuela. And again, the current dictator there, who ideally we know shouldn't really be leading them now, but again, it's their country, they can deal with it. But what Trump has been attacking are all those boats and all those ships that are bringing in narcotics. And that's why the dictator is begging him and saying, you know what do you want? Just don't come after me. They want the drugs to stop, but they keep bringing the drugs in. If you look at what happened in Mexico just last week, people are rising up against the presidency because the presidency or the prime minister or whatever they call her has been siding with the cartels against the citizens. They killed a mayor recently and people are like, you know what, enough is enough. They went to bomb one of the palaces in Mexico. So again, your fight is not with Trump, okay? Yeah, Sheikh Gumi. Your problem is with people that are making lives unlivable for others, killing and maiming, kidnapping. Another kidnapping yesterday. One also happened like 3 days ago, Kebbi State. So I don't know what Trump has to do with this.
Nigeria is just an excuse. They just want that excuse. And also, some of you have mentioned, part of it is because they see our demographic distribution, that if this trend continues, then it's not going to be nice for them.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, man, you're wrong. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's my own opinion.
Because now the political class have said the power should remain in the south. And when the political class decided the power should return to the north, so it will be they and that they don't want. So I think we should take it very serious. We are brothers. I could remember my father, may Allah have mercy on him, when he wanted to expand the Sultan Bello Mosque in Kaduna. He has been asking donations from well-meaning Nigerians and one single person, Alhaji Abdul Wahab Yenda Falawilu. Sorry, my Yoruba is very bad. That gentleman said, please let everybody keep his contribution. I single-handedly will build that mosque.
Okay.
And the mosque is standing there. As you enter Kaduna, that's the first thing you see. We don't have any animosity. Professor Balogun now just said he has been to the north. Many of you have studied there. Many of you have taught there. So our bond is an unbreakable bond, inshallah. And we should continue to strengthen it and also help each other politically as a political bloc and economically. In economics, we have to form an economic bloc. No matter how united we are.
So again, in all of this, he has never said how he plans to stop the kidnapping, what should be done to stop the kidnapping, what should be done to those that are being killed. All he's just saying is we need to form a powerful bloc. We need to withstand the guy coming in. Okay? Whatever it is. What about those people dying? And all of that. This guy is wrong too for supporting terrorism. Okay, Jeffrey Sachs. Yeah, Jeffrey Sachs' point of view is that the United States, being a world power, has been the bully of the world. And mostly, some of his opinion about, the Russia and Ukraine situation, I do agree with. But in this instance, there's a clear case that has prompted the response. So again, I cannot get where Jeffrey Sachs is going through. And again, some of the problems that the United States military-industrial complex has caused, you have some of it that is being actually worked on, and the influence have been tried to be reduced by Trump. I mean, the withdrawal from Afghanistan was initiated by him. Even withdrawing troops from Germany all around the world, trying to also solve the Russia and Ukraine war, which is very, very difficult at this point, is being initiated by Trump. But the truth about this thing is this: what we're facing in Nigeria today is terrorism. And we cannot say that there are no support from international group with respect to all these guys that are kidnapping and killing with all the weapons and all that. There's argument here and there. There's been argument that, some of the money from the USAID also makes it to the terrorists and all of that. So we'll see what happens. The laws are meant for the southern Nigerians and not for the northern Nigeria. The north are clever politically more than the south because they refuse to convict, not now allowing the south. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree possibly. Yeah, with that one. Yeah.
If we don't have economic power, we are still left behind. The north is an ample area for you, especially you Muslims, to come in there and also put your own efforts in seeing that we develop the economy, and also our businessmen will encourage them to come here and have a partnership with you so that this ummah will be strong and strong and strong. Thank you very much.
Again, yeah, no discussion about how to solve this problem. But that's that about that. We'll see what happens. I just want to move on. And let's talk a little bit about politics and what's been happening. PDP crushed. Tinubu's attack on the opposition will be his downfall. Okay. Let's see that.
PDP is balkanized today, the party that have so many governors, institutions destroyed, artificial crisis manufactured, and we are proud that we are in a democratic nation.
Okay.
How could a country, how could a president be proud of this under his leadership? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, such thing is going on under his own leadership. This culminated into the situation that led to the reaction of the President of America, Donald Trump. People are being killed like ants. The answer is yes. Cut across anything, either religion or ethnics. It's a massacre everywhere going on. We are heading towards a very dangerous zone. Very dangerous indeed. We must tread very cautiously, very carefully. We don't want to trigger anything that we cannot stand for, that we cannot protect.
Okay, let's listen to this.
All right, welcome to Niger Unfiltered. And our guest on today's edition of the program is Alhaji Shehu Gaban, who is the national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. All right, SDP has been in the news after its success at the elections, but somehow a little bit not on the good side. What's happening in the opposition Social Democratic Party?
But I think it's a general cancer that is ravaging the entire political institutions in Nigeria. Very sad indeed. After years of restoration of democracy from 1999, for some of us that participated in the restoration of democracy, I was SA to lead Abubakar Rimi when the struggle started from G7, G18 to G34. We know what we went through. We know the quality of conversation that led to convincing the military to go back to barrack and allow democracy to be restored. It's quite sad, it's quite disappointing that a nation that is facing close to 30 years under a civilian regime is yet to appreciate the institutions of freedom, democracy, and participation. So the kind of situation that is ravaging the country is not far-fetched from our fear, day one, when we push harder for career politicians to be at the forefront of presiding leadership. providing leadership for the country. But unfortunately, in 1999, most of the career politicians enveloped fear that probably there will be another military strike. So young people who have access to military government as of then took the advantage of the situation, took over government, devoid of morality, decency, patriotism, sense of belonging. And those are the things we suffered when we formed PDP.
Okay.
The first pioneer of PDP, Chief Solomon Lal, a tall figure in that order, was unceremoniously removed. Up to today, PDP have not had quality, stable leadership. Not to talk of some of us who left PDP when we discovered that the value, the essence, the fundamentals of PDP have been eroded. We decided to find another platform and develop it and make it a national platform. For that reason, we decided to join SDP after a lot of opinion polls that was conducted. And it was clear that we can be able to rejiggle the party and make it a national platform. Happily enough, we are lucky to have done that. And I'm so happy and grateful to God under my tenure. We won Senate seats, House of Reps, State Assembly, local government councillorship, which have never happened before with the numbers. And we built a very strong institution, participatory institution. And we contributed enormously to the stability of democracy. We add value to the government. We offer constructive advice that is not hostile to the government. We always say that we cannot pull down the roof, we will not participate in pulling down the roof because we will not know who will be a victim. So, you know, it started gradually and it's going. Some of us that are career politicians, we have seen the signs from distance that this hurricane of destructing political institutions will be all over. It will ravage everywhere. Unfortunately, they have not picked the lesson of PDP. How PDP were too rascally, were too sagacious, you know, with pompousness, that they will rule for 60 years. That lead to the impunity.
Yeah.
That lead to the loss of election after 16 years in office. The same thing is happening. They are feeling that they are above board. They have monopoly of knowledge and wisdom. They don't care about what people say. So they don't worry about people's opinion. That will not stop us from offering progressive advice on how to move the country forward. And of course, it's not far-fetched from the situation that we are in the SDP. You know, at a point where the only voice, position voice, you know, that always draw the attention of government. In fact, the very day the subsidy was removed 100%, we voiced out that it would lead to catastrophe. It would lead to economic recession. Because there was no survey that suggests if you remove subsidy 100%, the life of Nigerians will improve in any way or manner. There was none. Subsequent regime that removed subsidy, removed it bit by bit. You know, because they studied what the country goes through after removing certain percentage. It appears that perhaps the advisors of the current president told him that, look, take it 100%. There was no consideration of the purchasing power of Nigerians. There's no.
Yeah, I think subsidy removal was brutal. But again, we got to a point where we were borrowing to pay subsidy. There was high level of recklessness among the politicians, those at the top and all that. And I feel that, again, I've said it that there was a brutal reality. People were going to suffer. Either way, you remove it, you don't remove it. Now you're saying that they should have faced the removal of subsidy, which is good, okay, if you want to do it that way. If you can guarantee that what you're going to be paying, okay, is if what you're going to be paying is only what you're going to be paying for subsidy or fuel consumed. That was not the reality because there was already a messed up corruption system that was already in vogue. So again, if you just say, okay, let's stop subsidy 50%, those guys that were stealing, let's say, 100 billion naira, by the time you actually stop subsidy by 50%, they're going to just increase how much they're stealing. That's my own thoughts.
No consideration that it will affect our market to the community level. More so, you are coming for a period where our currency was redesigned, breach of contract between a client and a bank. People cannot get access to their money. People sleep at the ATM centers trying to get.
The wealthy and successful Nigeria is not in the interest of US. Please stop fueling internal division. North versus South. China has done more investing in Nigeria more than the whole Western world on 200 years. Okay.
1,000, 2,000. It was a horrific situation Nigeria have gone through. Given all this background, a government that have think tankers or strong kitchen cabinet would have advised that the timing is wrong. Because the former president in the budget estimated a period to which the subsidy should stop. But the president have the power, to submit a supplementary budget
I agree with
to
that.
fund
Buhari did that.
The subsidy to a certain level, meanwhile studying how to take away the subsidy, whether it will help the country or it will not help the country. So perhaps our progressive advice to the government became offensive to the government. They didn't find it easy or friendly. Despite coming from our heart genuinely, the country belongs to all of us. We owe it a duty to advise the government. It's not for them to take it, it's not for them to send it to the dustbin. So along the line, there's this struggle for coalition here, nor there. The coalition are also sort of desperate to get a platform. Of course, their fundamental priority is not really the SDP, because they believe that our national secretary have issues regarding the Mambila project that is under investigation. So they have this conviction that if they took SDP, eventually the government will use that opportunity to use him to create problems in the party. So for that reason, we are a second option to them, despite the fact that we've been engaging, we've been advising them how to do it, because there's a history of mergers. Some of them were successful, some of them were not successful. And the reason why people sometimes fall short of doing the right thing is because they ignore history. Those who were part of it, part of the success and part of the failure. So for that reason, we were engaging with them. We told them that the only way they can be part of any conversation with the SDP is to join SDP as individuals, so that we can have a robust conversation. What do? We look at the Constitution. Any amendment that is necessary. Logo, we need to amend it. Slogan, do we need to amend it? But you cannot change it from outside when you are not a member of the party. But they don't want to hear that. They just want to take over the whole institution. We are trained career people to build institutions, because Pugar Party is a center of leadership recruitment. It's not a center of rascality or street behavior. So at that point, they believe that I'm not too open or too friendly to key into what they want. I'm worried about my own history, about my own background. Again, the government felt perhaps I'm opening the door or the corridor for their opponents, who are hostile to their policies and programs, and that is not comfortable with them. So they don't see me as a friend. I went through a lot of turbulence. I went through attempt of assassinations. And I reported. My security were withdrawn. At the point people came to the office with AK-47, I wrote a petition. Security came to the office, took the CCTV footages of all that have transpired, all in the cost of ensuring that either I'm being crushed or my views are being crushed. So that was how the crisis of SDP started. And of course, what happened next was that individual was used to start creating problems in the party.
Okay.
And they are being pushed to say that they should remove me from the office because I'm not friendly to them.
This is a long stuff.
So,
I think I'm going to move on. What I just have to say with respect to the opposition party in Nigeria is that, see, nobody's going to help your party. PDP, SDP, ADC, LP, and all of those. Nobody from the ruling political class, APC, is going to help. In fact, APC is more interested in ensuring that all these opposition parties don't come together, all these opposition parties don't do what they are meant to do for them to be able to take over power. And again, that's the reality of politics. You can say there is someone from the APC trying to ensure that the other opposition party don't succeed. I believe also that APC, prior to 2015, also faced some of those problems. And again, you could say, fine, it's caused by the PDP and all of those. What I'm just saying is that as of now, where things stand, it becomes very, very difficult, as it were, to have a formidable force to stand against the current APC government. And that's the reality. Let me see. There's one other thing with respect to this PDP crisis. Wike should have been suspended in 2023 after the elections. Let me see this.
We all saw what happened in the PDP secretariat.
Oh.
And then, of course, we heard about the suspension of Wike, which reminded me of you, because the last time you were here...
Was I suspended?
No.
I'm not a member of the party.
The last time you were here, you said the PDP has to grow a pair. That was what you said. You said the PDP had to grow a pair. Have they grown a pair?
Wike, to begin with, Wike should have been suspended immediately after the elections. That's number one. Number two, besides Wike, part of the problem of the PDP is our well-respected elder and statesman, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The party ceased to be a party before the elections. We must work with a sense of history. How has the PDP conducted itself since he lost the election to Buhari? It's never really organized, put its act together. It doesn't have cohesion. It has mostly the same actors being very visible. You don't see youth involvement. PDP disappear from what it used to be.
Yeah, again, that's not me. I mean, that's someone that I believe knows more about politics. PDP.
Hallelujah.
Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has
I've seen this one. I just want to see this one and react to it. Let me just get this off. Okay. PDP is turned into shreds. Akpabio, who used to be a former PDP member, blast former Edo Governor Godwin Obaseki. Let me listen to this.
Amen.
I don't even understand what that is.
Well, my dear brother, distinguished Senator Monde Obuabala,
so this, I believe this is Edo State.
Of Edo State.
Okay.
Let me also recognize your deputy who came from the Green Chambers just next to us. Like my brother said, the senior Senator Adams Oshumole, he said he will not say upper or lower chambers, but we understand each other, don't we? We understand. Those, God said in the Holy Book that those who want to be the greatest should be prepared to be the servants. So we are not interested in who is upper or lower. We are just interested in being servants of the people.
Okay.
The former governor of Edo State. We started hearing much about Edo State when Adams Oshumole became the governor of this state. Before him, even to get to the airport was a problem. Even at that time, the governors that ruled this state, half a kilometer, 500 meters to their houses, were full of potholes during the rainy season until you came.
Wow.
But like me, you were very interested in ensuring that you left the door in good hands. So you went to the World Bank and IMF to go and bring a successor.
He's talking about Obaseki, right? Yeah. Obaseki was an investment banker.
The people of Edo State. And what was his intention? Profit making. So I will believe that your successor, I don't want to mention his name, because by now his name should be history, was able to practice giving you loan in one hand and bringing you a contractor, and at the end, it takes away both the profit and the capital and everything. I'm a witness to the fact that Edo went down after you left office. You were very worried. And you prayed to God, and God answered your prayers. Mr. Speaker,
okay.
I had visitations many times when I was Minister of Niger Delta from about almost 16 members of the House of Assembly of Edo State who were not sworn in.
Oh.
The governor before...
This is the most useless and desperate Senate president in the history of Nigeria.
Was working with...
To be honest with you, I don't even know what the National Assembly is doing, despite all of the challenges that Nigeria is facing right now. No hearing, no major investigation, especially the House of Rep, nothing.
Only 10 members. I am telling you, for 4 years, one cannot say that was democracy. Either 14 or 16 members. How many of them?
10.
14.
14 were out.
He had 10. But he refused to swear in 14. So the man was a danger to democracy itself. And those people roam around the streets of Abuja and Niger Delta for clear 4 years. You don't need to go far
he is actually,
to give a record of that kind of governance. So I'm here in Edo today to honor your invitation to visit together with your deputy. So I came with the galaxy of your colleagues from the red chambers. You have the deputy majority whip of the Senate, Senator Nweboyi, who is here. You also have...
But a lot of people really like him in Akwa Ibom, though. I think they do. I mean, he's been one of the major, I would say, players, right, in Akwa Ibom.
The deputy...
Corruption everywhere, though.
Not deputy this time, the minority whip of the Senate, who actually, I don't understand what he's doing there, because he's presently on paper as a member of the All Progressive Congress. He's a progressive. But because of how good he has been, the Senate has not bothered him at all. Distinguished Senator Ositango.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You have your colleagues from Edo, led by your leader, Comrade Governor, not retired, still very active and strong, Adams Oshimole. May God continue to strengthen you. You have the leader. No, you have distinguished senators from Edo itself also.
But the thing is that most of these politicians are also one and the same. Like PDP, APC, all these guys. Like this guy was in PDP before, now he's moved to APC. I mean, it becomes more like, now we don't even have like a coalition that would work and kind of, be an alternative to the current government of the day. So it becomes a little bit difficult to even say, how to play the real opposition. I mean, Peter Obi does what he usually does by, tweeting, visiting here and there. But then in terms of building that solid structure, I've not seen that. They've been able to fragment the whole opposition party. And most of the guys that, in PDP, most of them are corrupt. So it becomes very difficult for them to even stand against the government of the day. They are better, served by moving over to APC instead of them trying to confront APC.
Senator Neda Imaswen. Senator Imaswen was formerly of the Labour Party. But you notice that at the
Can you
national
imagine?
level,
It was in Labour Party. These were the people that got into position on the back of Peter Obi and NSAS movement, which turned to be Obedient movement and all of that. Now they got in there and then they defected. So that's why I think people are no longer buying that story of, because I'm part of the LP now, if you vote for me, I will remain there. I mean, most of them have defected. In fact, when this last election where the opposition party fared, woefully, LP, PDP, and LP, PDP, and ADC, when you add all of what they had, was not even up to what YPP, a party that is not even really known, got. YPP had 33,000, LP had 10,000 in the Anambra state elections. PDP had 1,400. And ADC, I can't even remember what that one got. And one of the things that was fascinating was that the new governor, the governor that was Mogalu, the governor that was from ALP, you know, the obedient guys were saying that, you know what, vote for this guy. He has promised that he would not defect when he wins. And I'm like, how is that even a campaign strategy?
They were laboring in vain. And he said, I will no longer labor in vain. He came to me when I was presiding. He said, our SP, the Senate President, I'm tired of laboring. No matter how I try, my people are not feeling the impact at the national level. I want to join the Progressive Party so I can no longer labor in vain. Between Senator Neda Imaswen is here now as a member of the APC.
That's an obedient. That's an obedient turned this thing. Monday's a member of the Red Chamber, and they're proud of him. Same with me. I wish him well. I only want him to stop demolition houses used by criminals because some landlords don't know why.
God bless you.
Okay.
And when Okwebolo left office, we didn't know what was going to happen. But like magic that he has always done, he consulted with his leader, and in a very peaceful manner, he brought out another man of peace. Yes, sir. Very distinguished Senator Igwe. He's here with us. Yes, sir. He's here with us. And he's part and parcel of your team in Abuja. We're almost complete. Between Senator Dike Plan from Plateau State. He had always loved you, you know that. And he didn't even know we were coming to Edo. He saw us at the airport and he dropped his baggage and jumped into the plane. He said, I must come and honor Okwebolo. God will also honor you.
That's what they are using our time for,
We
right?
have also
okay.
very distinguished Senator Joel Onawakwo, just from your next door here, from Delta State, who said he must also be here. And a host of others that we could not accommodate. They all said, I should bring you greetings from the Red Chambers of the National Assembly. And then from the House of Representatives, many of them are probably on their way, but we had to carry one amongst them. A great son of Edo, a former secretary to government, to my brother Adams Oshimole, and currently the leader of the House of Representatives, Professor Julius Ihombe, is here with us. Prof, you're welcome to your state. So my speaker that is running a complete house, not a fractured house, I recognize you and all the members
Is that a shade
of
to
the
River
House of
State?
Assembly in Edo. I recognize the peace. The chairman of the party and the deputy, who was actually my own in the National Assembly, and all the stakeholders, particularly the stakeholders led by my brother Ise Iyamu, and the great women of Edo State. You gave birth to all of us, and when the government is good, you are the ones that will know. The leaders of the churches in Edo State, when there is good governance, there is good harvest during communion and during Thanksgiving, during the bazaar. And when the government is bad, like what happened the other time, you will notice it also. Imagine the university, Ambrose Ali University, one of the earliest universities established in the South-South, getting only 41 million as subvention in a month. Not enough to even run the office of the Vice Chancellor, but they got that for almost 8 years. You came in, and under a few months, you rescued them by increasing the subvention from 41 million to 500 and something million. Will God not bless you? Will God not bless you? And I don't know, most of the things you are doing are things that God inspired me to do when I had the opportunity to be a governor. Imagine in my state, for about 12 to 13 years, University of Uyo did not graduate any medical student. Some of them were staying there and getting old. Some abandoned the university medical course, went to other universities to read other courses, came back there as lecturers and met their classmates still reading medicine. So when I became a governor, I did exactly what you are doing. I struggled, I provided amenity wards, I provided children's ward, I built infrastructures, I built over 10 blocks for them, 10 structures for them. I improved on everything, dialysis.
I thought you wanted to say 10 teaching hospitals. Share the money. I'm telling you, man. So he built 10 structures. I thought you wanted to say he built 10 teaching hospitals. But again, I think he did some stuff. But I feel that we could have a South that is really, really like, that is meeting places like Dubai and all of those. But again, it is what it is. Hi.
All sorts.
Hi, welcome to the show. Thanks.
At the end, they came and they gave them accreditation for medicine. So they were able to graduate the first set of medical doctors almost 14 years after they were admitted into the university. Today I came to Edo, and one of the things they said here was the same thing. When you open the door to education, to children to be educated, you close the door of prisons. Today, Edo is rising. Edo is progressing.
Okay.
Edo is shining. And God will continue to bless Edo people. When I met the titular leader of Edo, Oba Eredowa, Oba Otokwe, it was almost Oba Awaibare. Even if I don't pronounce it well, he knows me very well. And he knows that I have the greatest love and respect for him. The Oba of Benin was the first person, the first major stakeholder of this state that you visited as governor-elect. That same day, your election was announced. We all followed you, and you went to pay respect to the Oba. May the Oba's reign be peaceful. Amen. May his reign be prosperous. Amen. May his reign reunite the people of Edo. Amen. Your Excellency, I recognize all your stakeholders, and I want to say, of all the names they give to you, I believe they should call you a unifier. Yes, sir. A unifier. For you to be able to work with your House of Assembly in unity, work with your deputy in unity, work with your leaders, past and present, in unity, you are a unifier. You are a great unifier. You cannot go wrong. Our prayers are with you. I remember that day in the Senate when you called me aside, and you said there is a rumor going on. I said, what is the rumor? They said, the rumor is that I'm drawing you close because I want you to be governor of Edo. I would say, Paul,
shame on all you stupid set of rubbish people, Almighty God was judge. Wow, somebody's vexing here. Man, these politicians.
That. And I asked you a question. I said, so what is wrong with that? Since you have the love of the people of Edo, God can crown that your love by giving you the position to show them the love. Today, I can imagine, just like I brought the first set of flyovers to my state, is Okpawolo not doing the same? Imagine the schools that I'm hearing. I built over 6,000 classroom blocks within 2 years in office. I also declared free education from primary school to secondary school level. Paid NAPTIC fees, paid WAEC fees, NECO fees, and all that free. And then made sure that my people stop being house boys and house girls in Edo here, and also in Lagos. And
you are all liars.
Today, if you are looking for an acquired child, the person will name his price because
you people
he's
destroy
Nigeria.
I
if
agree.
you want him to be a cook, you will say, no, that is a chef. And you have to pay him a chef's salary. That means you don't pay him anything less than he merits.
What's he talking about?
Most of them are now managers. So we handed over that industry to other countries. The industry of houseboys and housegirls. I predict today that by the time you are through with Edo as governor, that there will be no houseboy and there will be no housegirl.
What is he talking about, bro?
You will leave behind an educated elite educated
I
people.
market tax of Nigeria.
I set up what I call
issues.
Women in Agriculture Development Program.
Mm-hmm.
And I assisted the women, some of them with sums of 250,000 at that time, free for them to buy fertilizers and farming implements. And today, you have given over 1 billion to market traders to improve their trade. And you are now calling us to come and see mechanized agricultural equipment. There is no country that can boast of greatness unless that country can feed itself. So what are you doing? You are providing the flyovers and the roads. You are building educational...
Oh my God, I don't even know how that stuff is even relevant to this whole thing. Nigeria, tell us the truth. Let us know our liberty. Okay.
Infrastructure. You are providing for students. You are providing for medical students. You are providing for the market women. You are providing for the less privileged. And today, you have looked into the most important thing, which is stomach infrastructure. I want to congratulate you. I'm happy I'm witnessing this.
You have a Monday fan here. Monday is really wonderful. Leader without noise from the corner. I see him as a leader, not because of the party, not anything but else. Yeah. So I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know much about Edo State politics. I think it's unique. And again, just playing this as I think Akpabio is just more like just for Akpabio now, right? Talking about all he's done. It's more of it's talking about what, if you notice from this speech, and this is my own point of view, all of the things that he has said he accomplished was what he did as a governor. He has not told us one thing that he has accomplished as a senator or one thing that he has accomplished as a Senate president, which is much more, up there. Like number 3, right? Nothing. No acknowledgement of the insecurity situation in the country. I know this is an Edo State event, but at least you even pay some condolences to people that lost their lives before you even start some of this. I mean, it started in a very funny manner, but I'm just saying, again, it is what it is.
I'm here to see that, yes, indeed, Edo is shining. Edo is shining under the APC. And thank God you even helped Obaseki to leave the PDP, if you see there. Because the PDP is torn into shreds.
What?
The PDP is torn into shreds. But he had torn Edo into shreds before he left. So if you are telling me to bring him back, give us the evidence. I'll get in touch with the Attorney General. The world has become a global village. I do know that no matter where he is, he cannot sleep well if he knows that all the loans he took from the international community were squandered.
Wow.
Your Excellency, I'm only worried that you are the chairman of that committee.
I don't say secret costs.
I hope the report that will come out will not finish it totally, but add the evidence.
Wow.
And give us the receipts, and we'll work with it. So, Your Excellency, I've answered your question. I will tell our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that you made only one request, that we should bring Obaseki back to answer to his stewardship. So now, to Edo people,
politics,
one good turn deserves another. Pray for him and support him. If he can do this in just 1 year, you can imagine what he will do in 2 years. You can imagine what he will do in 4 years. You can imagine what he will do in 8 years. So, Obaseki will return, he will answer, and you will recover the money and use it for your people. My prophet, Ise Yamu.
You're from Benin City. So how is his performance as a governor in Benin City, since you're from there, right? I mean, you would know better than everybody here. Is he a good governor? Is it better than Obaseki? I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Your song is always so beautiful. When we came, we were in Adam's house. And as soon as it was time, he shouted. When he heard the result of the election, that Bola had become governor, he shouted, Yahweh, your name is Yahweh. You are the miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. One more time.
Okay.
Yahweh. Your name is Yahweh. You are the miracle working God.
I thought Shomole entered gym. I saw his video where he gyms a lot. That's good.
Yahweh. Yes. Miracle.
Wow, it's a little better than Obaseki's problem is the issue with the Oba of Benin. Oh, okay. Oh, they're fighting. I mean, the Obas are always fighting politicians. I think at times it's also based on supremacy and who is what, you know. And now that the governors have power to remove or depose a king, it becomes a little bit kind of interesting. God is not coming down from above. Only God is Christian. Okay, yeah.
Governorship maker. You have met Okwabala, Governor Fido. You have met Okwabala, Governor today.
Guys.
Yahweh, your name is Yahweh. You are the miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh.
Wow. Okay.
President Mecca.
These guys are just jokes.
Mecca.
I don't even know what to say.
You
Bro.
have met Asiwaju, President today. You have met Asiwaju, President for us. Yahweh, yeah.
I don't even know what to make about this stuff, but again, it is what it is. Okay. Oh, you're in Poland now. Yeah, I mean, Poland is a very decent place. Yeah, cool. Cool. Man, I mean, I just saw this and I'm like, okay, what the heck is happening? Let me just watch it. I mean, Akpabio with his tricks and all that. Just quite funny. Let me see what's happening. Let me just doom scroll. Okay, 1 billion was paid to bandits by the present government of Kaduna. They are paying bandits. They apologize to bandits. If the governor or anyone in government disagrees, let them come out and deny it. We have the evidence.
You can ask 3 service chiefs that served in Kaduna under my watch. One of them is still alive. Farouk Yahya was chief of army staff. He was GOC in Kaduna. I saw him yesterday at a wedding. You can call him, bring him to this program and ask him what we did. What I will not do, okay, is to pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them in the name of non-kinetic. It's nonsense. We are empowering bandits. It's not the government of Kaduna State. It's a national policy driven by the Office of National Security Advisor, and Kaduna is part of it. Many states are objecting to that, but that is the policy now. Chase the bandits. That's the new policy. My position has always been the only repentant bandit is a dead one. Let's kill them all. Let's wipe them. Let's bomb them until they are reduced to nothing. And then the 5% that still want to be rehabilitated can be rehabilitated. You do not negotiate from a position of weakness. You don't empower your enemy. You don't give him money to go and buy more sophisticated weapons. That's why the insecurity problem has not gone away and will not go away as long as this policy continues.
If you look,
they can deceive, they can cover up, they can do propaganda, but those that live in Katsina, those that live in Zamfara, those that live in Kaduna, those that live in those states, they know what is happening.
Well, is that the reason why perhaps you think that there's a slowdown in the attack on schools and kidnaps that we've seen in Kaduna? The quiet we see in the Benegwari
there is no slowdown.
Kaduna,
I was governor for 8 years. I was governor of Kaduna State for 8 years. Only 3 schools were attacked in 8 years. Okay? This government has been around for 2 years. 3 schools have been attacked. And they paid the bandits. They paid them R1 billion the first time the school was attacked and students abducted. They are paying bandits. They are apologizing to them. They are
finding this information about R1 billion being paid.
Exactly. What did he do, Ryan? Exactly. What did he do then? Yeah.
Let the governor or anyone come and deny. We have the evidence. When the time comes, we'll reveal everything.
But now that he's claiming that he didn't pay, but there were videos where he said they paid the bandits, right? He was even saying it, that yes, I paid them. Again, that's...
They are paying bandits.
But he also
They
did
are
the same.
empowering bandits.
He did the same, right?
This is what this government is doing.
And you think that will not work?
It will not work. It has never worked anywhere.
Wow. Okay, so this is it, right? The real currency of many northern Nigerians do. They trade in lies. We have paid some Fulani to stop killing in southern Kaduna, El Rufai. This was in 2016. Nigeria is a prostituted sport generation. Yeah, so this was he saying that they paid bandits. There's even the video, right? So again, it's just unfortunate that now that it's no longer in their own cahoots, the problem. Yeah, okay. If I were president of Nigeria, my top priority would be to protect lives and property of citizens. I'm just doom scrolling, bro.
Somebody offered you something you've been looking for. It is not going to start debating.
Wow. Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Went outside the country? Wow.
We are hungry. Somebody discovered, oh, Peter Obi and his family can no longer eat. You are saying no. It's not true. And we ate in the morning, but the one of afternoon, collect the food first. And then you know how you can ration it. That's what it is. That's my reaction. What I would do, I would have gone, even today you declare me president, I can tell you, number one priority is security of life and property. Number two priority is to put people out of poverty. Because the more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality.
Fair enough.
Number three is to invest in education. It is critical for a basic education. There are millions of people out of school today. A child that is 5 years, 10 years today did not educate will become a terrorist and a problem for you in 20 years' time.
Wow.
So invest in him now. Now you have the opportunity. Invest in health. All these people are moving around stealing public money. They don't need it. You're only bringing headache to your life. So that's my reaction to Trump. For me, it's a welcome speech that I would have been begging him.
Well, that's well, the Northern are playing politics. So the Trump coming to Nigeria is a miracle to me. I pray for it. If Trump refused to come and save Christians in Nigeria, God Almighty will use another method. Yeah, I think at some point, to me, this is what I think is happening. The people that are being, disadvantaged and being unalived and being kidnapped and all that, they've been crying for so long. Nobody's listening to them. And these people that are doing the evil work, whoever they are, wherever they are, they're now emboldened. They're emboldened. They now stream some of their attacks and all that. And nobody cares about the little man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's just crazy. Yeah, just looking at what's happening right now. Listen carefully to this brilliant Igbo lawyer. I love where she said influencers should be careful, especially Obi Kubana, Mr. P and Co. Where analysis on biased opinion on Nnamdi Kanu's trial. Her name is Awele Ideal. Okay, let me listen to her. But this is a long story.
His right to appeal has been closed or foreclosed. No, he has a right to appeal his judgment.
Yeah, we know that. Yep.
He has a right to appeal that judgment. Then even when the appeal comes out, the judgment in the Court of Appeal comes out, he also has a right to the Supreme Court. It is not yet the end. So why the cry, why all the emotional things, why the insult on people? Must everybody support IPOP? I'm an Igbo woman, but I'm not IPOP. I'm not in support of them.
Okay.
Now we say justice is everybody's business. What about those who died? What about those who were killed by these IPOP people?
So this is an Igbo woman giving us another perspective about what happened with Nnamdi Kanu. Let's see. She says she's Igbo. Now, allegedly, I can't, verify.
Under his command. What about them? Dora Kunyeli's husband is an example. What about the unknown gunmen? Yes, I agree.
Oh.
He has every right to seek what he wanted. Everybody have a right to agitate for change. Everybody has a right to agitate for change. You guys know me. I'm stubborn when I believe in something.
Okay.
So at a point, I liked this young man. I loved Nnamdi Kanu. At a point. Because I could see a young man vibrating, wanting for change, calling for change, just like our late Ojukwu. Everybody loved the movement. Everybody loved the idea. Everybody loved the way it was going. But immediately bloodshed entered. I cut myself off. Immediately they started, the command and everything started. Bloodshed. It became another thing. I said, no, I'm not part of this. Because my duty first, my love first is to humanity.
Okay.
Nobody's life should be cut short because I'm agitating for something I don't even know if I will get. Now, what was the cause of the fight in Rwanda? Most of you don't know history. Most of you don't read. Everybody's saying, did he kill anybody? Did he do this? Did he do that?
Okay.
When you incite violence, when you talk to people in such a way that you ginger them, that is why influencers should be careful. I always tell, especially Facebook influencers, those that have the power to move people. Most people don't reason. Most people don't use their brain.
Okay.
Then there are some of us that have the brain. God has given us the brain. We can either use it for good or for evil. Then when you now use that brain that God has given you to incite violence in people, tell them that this person is your enemy, that person is your enemy, the person that wears good clothes is your enemy, the person that do this is your enemy. The person begin to, you have worked on them. They believe in you. They see you as a God. Once people start looking at you, looking up to you, seeing you as a role model, you have to be careful what you say. Because if what you say makes them commit a crime, you are in for it. That is the truth. Now, what is the cause of the war between the Hutu and the Tutsi in Rwanda? I visited Rwanda. I went to the genocide museum. I saw things for myself raw. Most of you don't travel. Most of you don't know history. Right now in Rwanda, there's no tribe. Ask anybody, where are you from? I'm from Rwanda. They don't have, I am from Igbo, or I'm from Yoruba, or I'm from Hausa. I think Nigeria too should imbibe that. Nigeria should copy that thing from Rwanda. Rwandans are not friendly. Like, they are very, very skeptical. They don't trust outsiders. When I visited Rwanda and I saw all of them, they are not open to receiving guests because they don't know if you are coming to destroy them again. That genocide left their mental health scattered. So if you have seen war, you go run from war. What was the cause of Rwandan this thing? Ordinary utterance that was made on a radio station, calling a particular tribe cockroaches. If you don't know about the history, watch this movie sometime in April, or you watch Hotel Rwanda. Watch it. Our own Stephanie Konedo acted it, a Nigerian lady. She was one of the major characters in that Hotel Rwanda. Then Idris Elba acted sometime in April. Go and watch that movie so that you understand how the Rwandan war started. Utterances, just talk, one person talk for radio station. Aya.
Yeah, this is a proud dumb woman. Stupid thoughts. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what she has to say. Because again, I mean, this has been one of the polarizing judgments in Nigeria. Yeah. Oh, you had Rwanda too. Yeah. I mean, okay. Let's just skip this.
They fought that war for many years. That Rwanda is still trying to revive. In fact, Rwanda has done well after 20-something years. After 20-something years of that fight. No, almost 30 years of that fight. After 20-something years of that fight, or 30, let's just approximately 30 years. They're just trying to recover. And they're doing very well. Nigerian Naira is just few change above their own. Very soon, their money is above.
I think it's more than just the
utterance.
Yeah.
Rwanda that faced real civil war. Internal civil war. We are here. Ordinary utterance scattered the whole country. Then you are saying that is injustice. What about those that died?
Yeah, so again, it would have not just been utterances. There would have been so many layer stuff. But maybe something then triggers, I don't know, I'm just saying. I'm not a vast Rwanda historian or something. Or maybe I'll watch the movie too.
What about those that died, that lost their life? That your family member did not die does not mean that the person who incited it does not deserve some punishment, level of punishment. What are you saying? Everybody's just being emotional. What about those that died? Those that were their life were cut short. Those that were kidnapped. There's a lawyer. There's a Rotarian in Port Harcourt. Up to today, they've not seen his body. Teddy or something they call him. Speedy or Teddy, something like that. What are people saying? Igbos are the ones suffering this thing. Igbos are suffering it. Igbos in Ugwa are suffering Ugwa this thing. Any small thing, the Hausas will start burning their properties. Those in the north. Igbos in the north are suffering.
Yeah, let me see
Any
that.
small incitement, anything which just incite violence, they will burn Igbos' property.
Yeah, lying story never goes straight. What was the utterances, madam? This one is just blabbing. The rise of poverty and racism because the war. Yeah, there were a lot of issues. Yeah, layering up before that. Yeah, again, I mean, I'm just scrolling. I just saw this, right? And yeah. Well, the person that posted well analyzed and non-biased opinion. Again, people are just speaking whoever supports. So this is what I've noticed on Twitter or on X is that people just post clips of whatever supports their own thoughts. Okay, so again, this guy, I think is an APC. Yeah, you can see that progressive for bad. So they will just post, but I'm just scrolling, right? Just scrolling and let me just
very thorough job.
Yeah.
Now let us even look at it.
I'll just skip through. I'll watch it
along the line. His choice of lawyers were even very okay. Kanu Agabi SAN. I love that man to stupor.
Yeah, I mean the guy has been, and again, yeah, people are saying that his judgment is far harsh compared to others.
Good, brilliant, one of the best lawyers in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
He had them along the line. He debriefed them that he want to do his case himself. They gave him time to do his case himself. He started dribbling everybody. Okay, look at his attitude in court. How do you even start to beg for such a person? I was just asking. How do you if you even want to beg for such a person, how? Get a hold on your emotions. No,
but again, it's like, you know what? Again, he's an activist, right? And I think that comes with the territory. He believes that what he's fighting for is right. Now, you can be for or against. I'm not a fan. But at the same time, it comes from his own stuff. I've advised that hopefully there is an appeal and then he gets like the lawyers, let the lawyers do their job. And again, possibly a political solution would work. The presidency can just pardon and also give him a mandate to bring peace in the southeast.
International community is watching. Now they want to, if they even want to beg for you, how did they start? You that insult a judge, call the judge by the name and tell him doesn't know anything. You that push people, don't touch me, you are pushing. Why the drag?
So let me just keep you forward.
Everything, everybody
keep saying the
watched
same
it.
thing.
Following up yesterday, but I was too busy. So once I will just call Victor. Alpha, I definitely delivering the judgment. Okay, what about Alokutus? This one, he doesn't have a lawyer. Who will do Alokutus for him? Alokutus means plea for mercy. I was so happy when Justice Omotosho gave them the microphone. I said, since you're a legal consultant and you have been coming to court for him, please, I will not shut him out from Alokutus. Say he's Alokutus or say something about Alokutus. That is plea for mercy. And this Mr. Obi, he used to be my friend. Mr. Obi took the microphone and said talking. I listened to his speech. I listened to his legal counsel's speech. He was given all, he was given all the rights for fair hearing. Up to Alokutus. He was given all.
Okay.
There was no comma, no mistake. That's why I said that judgment is airtight. It will stand any appeal, even before God and man. That judgment will stand any appeal. And my only fear is that if he stands appeal, I pray they don't give him the maximum punishment. Maximum punishment is death. Death sentence immediately.
Okay.
So now, I'm even surprised that the judge was mindful enough to reduce it to just life in prison. At least life in prison. At least being alive and serving a life
Where's
in prison.
the consciousness?
There is hope that one day something will happen. But what about death sentence? He did not even pronounce the maximum that was required by law. He gave him life, which is fair. But you people don't understand. That's why you are emotional. What if it was death sentence? What you not going to talk? Death sentence they give him before Friday, they don't buy him. What you not going to talk?
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, madam. Again, I understand the emotions. Hi, Prince. Henry. I understand the emotions where it doesn't work that way. That's why, again, there's no straight, or black and white in this scenario. You have to understand that some things are happening. What is this one? Tinubu, if you cannot fight insecurity, resign. What is this, bro?
Inside Niger, and they kidnapped over 100 innocent girls. Today, inside Nasarawa State.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just doom scrolling. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, all of you coming to my wall to talk rubbish. Nnamdi Kanu created Ruin My Family, hometown. A place where my children should call home has now been desolate. They burned the Igwe Palace. They killed the family. Again, I'm just scrolling. They killed families in numbers. They sent aged people away from the village that many asked. What's happening? Once an Igbo man has money, he uses it to oppress the rest by building a big house. Okay, so this is an Igbo woman also? Why are all the women? Where are the men? They were forced to listen to his attorney this time. Hopefully, yeah. I think when it goes to appeal, I think appeal is an higher stuff. I think it's going to get good lawyers, and I learned that he got good lawyers actually. So possibly he lets the lawyers do their job, or maybe I don't know. It's up to him, right? And we'll see what happens. How fast country has deteriorated, man. The way it's just like going down the hill. Okay, let me hear what this woman wants to say. I can't hear you. What is this? It's a waste of time. Okay. Yeah. Drag to the Oman. He said they couldn't go to Kwara and Kebbi State, but all they know is how to intimidate others. Let me see. All the money away. Who is this?
Hello.
Who is this one? What? Wow. This one, don't do drugs. This one is crazy. Yeah, let me just see what's happening. My goodness, what is this? How can we be living? What the hell? Wow, I can't watch that. I didn't collect 50 billion Sunday Igboho. So Portable went to say that Sunday Igboho collected 50 billion naira, and as a result of that, as aligned with the government of the day. So this is Sunday Igboho. So let me say, I didn't collect 50 billion. Sunday Igboho tells Portable via video call, responding to claims that he was paid by the federal government to stop Yoruba Nation agitation. Let me listen to this. What is this?
Fight for who? Fight for you. Ẹ má bínú sáà mi mọ̀ pé ẹgbẹ́ yẹn o mi ò mọ̀ o àwọn blogger ló post yẹ wọ́n náà gba 50 billion for peace.
What the hell?
Láti gbà yẹn láti 2021 till now wọn yọ wọn mo ṣe kéèsì ń bẹ náà wọn detain mi sẹ́wọ̀n ń bẹ mo ṣe gbẹ èsì tí tẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá lọ́wọ́ àmì kó tó gbé àwọn yóò ní kankan ẹ̀ ń ṣe kankan náà ẹ fi ẹ̀ kẹwàá òwe àwọn Fúlàní máa sábẹ̀ òní sá.
ọmọ dá níbi táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wà ẹni kó kámú takú wọ.
Man, these guys are just troublemakers. Let me move on. Yeah. From Jonathan to Buhari to Tinubu, every president faces the same sabotage. This cabal shift deals, control narratives, and suffocate any government that can't meet its term. And sadly, it's ordinary Nigerians who pay the price. Where is every administration trapped? Who really controls Nigeria? That's a good question.
Shut down nationwide. It shows a government that is under siege, not just incompetent. This administration, just like the previous
thanks for the follow,
have been held down by forces larger than the presidency itself. And here is the uncomfortable truth.
Okay.
The system knows who is responsible. but cannot speak. Sabotage doesn't just happen randomly. It follows a pattern. Let's look at the timing. The United States declares Nigeria as a country of particular concern on 3rd of November 2025. Within days, Nigeria experienced 3 coordinated high-impact attacks. One in Kenya,
let them restructure
the school
Nigeria.
adoption,
Yeah.
the Ruku church attack. We also have the Niger State Catholic mass adoption. These attacks all target the same thing: children, churches, Christians, rural communities. Exactly what is cited in the US CPC designation of Nigeria. This is not coincidence. This is a message. There are powerful actors who benefit when the government looks weak and overwhelmed. You might call it beautiful karma, but the sad news is that it affects our collectives, because these are the same forces that used Boko Haram to weaken Goodluck Jonathan. They weaponized fear to win the 2015 election, and today they still retain the influence. And no matter who sits in Aso Rock, they still have the influence. And that is why insecurity has never changed under any administration.
Okay, yeah. Again, that's a fair point, because again, it's more like we're all living in a simulation. Like the moment they said that, then again, look at this. Then this movie also then came out. Almost, I mean, it's been out for a while. It's been in the works. It's been showing in the cinemas. But then almost immediately, this is gonna, start showing on Netflix. So it becomes a little bit, crazy, as it were. But it is what it is. 1 December, yeah. Video, I'm the Man. This is 7 hours ago by The Nation Nigeria. Look at it. Armed men seen with green armored vehicle in Northwest. A viral video has surfaced online showing armed men standing beside green armored vehicle in what appears to be a remote area in Nigerian Northwest. The footage on Wednesday this week captured a convoy of vehicles parked on dusty terrain with several men inspecting rifles and other equipment. Continue reading in the comment section. Okay, let me first look at this. Look at that. Look at this armored vehicle. Look at it. This is not like, according to Sheikh Gumi, this is not people who are just trying to fight poverty. This is on Wednesday. This is a video that, I just read it now from Nation Nigeria. Look at the vibe. How did this didn't just appear from nowhere. Look at this. This is bringing the vibes, and I don't know if vibes is the right word, of 2014, shortly before the 2015 elections. This is giving me the vibes of 2014. All those armored vehicles, APVs, and all of those. Look at that. This is on Wednesday this week. Is this what the Nigerian army wants to go face? These are not just, how did they even ship this stuff into the country? There are powerful forces behind the scene.
Oh, Akbar.
Man, this is messed up. So this is it. This is it. The Nation Nigeria, 2.6 million followers. So again, look at that. The location and date remain unverified, and authorities have not yet issued a statement. Communities in the Northwest have battled banditry for more than a decade, with armed groups raiding villages, abducting residents, and funding weapons through ransom payments and illegal market. The sighting has renewed public concern over insecurity despite ongoing military operation in the region. So someone is saying that using Google Lens reverse image search on keyframes from the video, AFA fact check found a post on X published by a conflict monitoring account on August 8, 2025, with a screenshot of military vehicle identical to those in the claimed video. So this is saying that this is a fake news. The incident has been excessively reported in French by the daily newspaper Liberation. Local Turkish media also reported the event with full image videos matching those shared by the ex-conflict monitoring. This viral video is not from Nigeria, so this is fake news. Again, one of the reasons why I always try to be very careful, just read through to know what is true or what is not true. This post captured Burkina Faso. This footage circulating is from an ambush in August 14, 2024 between Fada and Goma. Bogo was also a direct reply to another account that wrongly claimed the scene occurred in August 2025. So this video is from 2024. Instead of Tinubu to unite the South, he's busy dancing Shurugede with the Northerners. He has kept mum while the Yorubas and the Igbo tears themselves apart. It's high time the entire South unite and brace up for what's coming. So again, that video is not real. Sorry, not that it's not real. Sorry, it's not recent and it's not a Nigerian stuff. Okay, I just keep, let me see what happened. It was actually, oh no, let me just move on. Justice for Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerian government must free Nnamdi Kanu. So this is free Nnamdi Kanu now. Where is this one happening? This is not Nigeria, I believe. This is AI. This is AI. Quite interesting. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I went through Peter Obi's tweets, you know, with respect to what is happening. Every region protects their own terrorists. Yep. It is what it is. Let me see if I can talk on something else. Conversation between a married woman and her husband sparks major reaction online. Calls between a married woman and her husband's side chick. Let me listen to this.
Hello. Good afternoon, Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Who is this?
This is Blessing.
Okay.
Sorry, I got your number from someone. I got to confirm something. You know who is Obodo, right?
Yeah, it's my boyfriend.
What? I didn't ask you who he is to you. I just asked if you know him.
Okay, I do.
But since you gave me 2 answers just for one question, it's fine.
Whoa.
I hope you know Obodo is married.
Yes, I know. Is there a problem?
Wonderful.
What?
Okay, you know Obodo is married, and then you still accepted him to be your boyfriend.
Is there a problem?
Damn.
Am I the first or am I going to be the last?
Shut up your mouth. We are not age mates. I'm the one that called you. This is Obodo's wife. This is his wife calling you. I am not calling you for you to start running your mouth or for us to start having issues. I don't have any problem with you. I called you for a reason, because I want us to reason together. You said Obodo is your boyfriend, and you also knew that he's married, and then you still accepted him to be your boyfriend. That means you actually know what you are doing. So I don't have problem with that. So, but I want you to do yourself a favor. Yeah? Obodo, I have been seeing all the money that he has been sending to you. I always go through his history, transaction history. I always see your name, Jennifer. I always see him transferring money to you. I don't have problem with that you're receiving money. After all, he's the one that came to you. You did not see him on the road and drag him and force him to be your boyfriend. He came to you. Okay, so I also saw that from your chat. I have been seeing you people's chat. I also saw where he bought hair for you because your birthday is on the 12th. Where?
Yeah.
And you want to celebrate the birthday, or where?
Sure.
Definitely, I know you want to celebrate the birthday. Okay, so I am going to help you make your birthday happen. But I'm giving you condition, and the thing is that you don't have option, you must accept it. Henceforth, whatever my husband is sending to you or giving to you, you will divide it equally. You give me my part and take your part.
Really?
Anything my husband is giving to you, it's like you're not scared though. The only thing they make you just you'll be blind forever. I will never come to you to fight with you or do whatever with you. Look at just 1 midnight or Tampimogi in too small. I know where you're living.
Okay.
I know where I'm stuck. Look at idiot saying that I'm stuck. How can I stop one bar shaker? You start a here. I know where you live. I know where you live. I watch you, and the problem is that you're not even doing a nice job. You're not even doing a good job. I always see you come out, and I know where you're coming out from. So please, but I don't want to push further. I have given you my own peace of mind. Anything my husband is giving to you, you divide it into 2. You give me my part. I'm not saying that you should give me. Can't be getting the smaller part. You give me the biggest part of it. If you want to continue doing something with my husband, though.
Okay, I gotta move on.
I'm not quarreling with you. I don't have problem with you.
That's a long story. And all of those. Moala, they just see. Okay. Yeah, 11:07 here. What's this? Nigerian soldier speaks out. We can end terrorism in 24 hours if only we are given orders. A courageous Nigerian soldier has finally broken his silence, revealing painful truth about why terrorism and banditry continues to ravage the country. Speaking with deep frustration, he explains that many soldiers are exhausted. Let me listen to this guy.
Wallahi 24 hours kadai ya isa ba da ƙara jin ƙarar bindiga ba sai ta ma'aikaci. A ba mu dama a gani mana. Ya sa a zo kullun sai dai a ringa ɗauke yaran talakawa. Ana ɗebe yaran talakawa ana kai su inda aka dama.
Smart wife, right? Smart wife.
Haba menene haka? Me ake nufi da mu ne dan Allah? Gwamnati gashi ta ware ma'aikatanta masu yakan mata irin waɗannan mutane mugaye. Gashi an ware mu gashi muna da yawa. Akwai sojoji, akwai yan sanda, akwai sauran mukamai. Muna da yawa gashi na ƙasar nan. A bani yanci mana an ba mu dama mu shiga jeji. I don't
know what he's talking about. So I think I don't know. I just have to say a question why instead of decisive action, the nation wakes up daily to news of kidnapped children, traumatized families, and communities living in fear. Emphasize that the government has specialized units capable of ending the crisis, yet they are not being deployed as they should. In his emotional closing remarks, the soldier said, "I didn't wear this uniform for decoration or to brag, and not so people would fear me. I wear it to protect my country from evil." His word have stirred up strong reaction nationwide, reigniting calls for accountability, transparency, and urgent action to end the suffering of ordinary citizens. Yeah. I'm telling you, within a month, maybe not 24 hours, within a month, it should be, if we're serious, we can at least do something to bring some relative peace in Nigeria. But I'm not sure that there's a political will to do that. Why is nobody talking about this video of Nnamdi Kanu in 2010? What video is this one? Let me see.
Talking about this video.
My name is Nnamdi Kanu, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children and men, for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy. We are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government, to the High Commissioner, that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken.
Yeah.
We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the Council Committee for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970.
Wow.
If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
All right, so why is nobody talking about this video? I ask again. Because this is actually my first time of seeing that Nnamdi Kanu once believed in Nigeria. Like, he literally believed in one Nigeria and advocated for peace in the northern part of Nigeria.
Okay.
Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about this. It's shameful and painful at the same time that the people who are causing this is the same people that are being ruled by the elites. Because it's not necessarily this elite. it's the people who they rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there. If you look at his career, I think 2009, this is it. Kanu founded, okay, so timeline of Kanu, key events in his life. 2009, key events in his life. Okay, he's still alive though. Yeah. Kanu launched Radio Biafra from London, broadcasting calls for an independent Igbo state Biafra 2009, critiquing the Nigerian government. He served as director and anchored in the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, MASOB. 2014, IPOB was founded, a separatist group advocating for a referendum. So it started with, let's have a referendum on Biafra independence. Tension rise as broadcast intensify, leading to accusation of incitement. September 15, I think this was speaks at the World Igbo Congress in Los Angeles, urging supporters to arm themselves with gun and bullets for Biafran cause, escalating government scrutiny. October 14, Kanu is arrested in Lagos by Nigerian DSS. Upon returning from the UK, he is charged with criminal conspiracy, intimidation, and membership in an illegal organization. Protests erupt across southeastern states. October 19, 2015, initial bail granted by a magistrate court in Abuja, but DSS obtained a secret order to detain him further. November 23, 2015, arraigned at the Federal High Court on amended charges, including treasonable felony, terrorism, bail denied. Kanu remains in custody. This was in 2015 of November. In 2016, charges expanded to 11 counts. These were Buhari's days, right? To 11 counts, including terrorism, managing an unlawful society, and defamatory publications. Bail granted on April 25, but with strict conditions, e.g., no Radio Biafra broadcast. September 2017, a year after, military raids Kanu's home in Abia State. Operation Python Dance, killing 28 people, including his parents. Kanu jumped bails and flees Nigeria, reportedly to Israel. IPOD declared a terrorist organization by the Nigerian government. That was in 2017. 2018, Kanu continues activism via social media to 2020. From abroad, accusing the government of marginalizing Igbo and linking IPOB, ESN to anti-Fulani elder vigilantism in the southeast. Violence tied to ESN attack on police rises, with thousands of deaths reported in clashes. June 27, 2021, Kanu is rearrested in Kenya. Entering as a British citizen on May 12, Nigerian agents allegedly kidnapped him. Extraordinary rendition, no extradition. He is tortured for 8 days before being flown to Nigeria on June 27. Wow, so they actually went to kidnap him. That was what he said. So he wasn't extradited from Kenya. They kidnapped him and brought him back. ECOWAS court later rules the rendition as illegal. Why would you kidnap him? Remanded in custody in 2021, July, in DSS custody, trial resumes on 7-count terrorism charge. Incitements, financing unlawful society. Kanu pleads not guilty, challenging jurisdiction. In 2022, Court of Appeal, led by Justice Toyin Desola, acquits Kanu, citing illegal rendition. That is, you shouldn't have kidnapped him as a human rights violation in 2022. So that was what happened. Was 28, not 20. Federal High Court Justice Bintan Yako had earlier discharged some charges but upheld orders. Supreme Court overturns the acquittal. So that is December 15, 2013. Court of Appeal acquitted him, but Supreme Court now overturns the acquittal, reinstate the 7 terrorism counts. I don't know what happened between the Court of Appeal and then the Supreme Court. What made them to reinstate the 7-count terrorism and order trial continuation at the Federal High Court in Abuja? Kanu remains detained in December 2023. February 2025, Kanu files motion for Justice Bintan Yako to recuse herself, again to alleged bias. Case transferred to Justice James Omotosho. Persecution closes. Case after presenting witnesses, videos, and evidence of IPOB ESN activities, e.g. geolocated transmitter and confessions. So they were not able to get actual, stuff, but then it transmitted some things, it made some confessions, and that was what they used. Defense delayed trial with motion challenging charges, e.g. Repeal Terrorism Act of 2013. Kanu refuses to open defense 6 times, citing rendition illegality. Court warns of closing case. That was in May to October 2025. 6 times. November 4, 2025. Final opportunity for Kanu to present defense. It declines again. Then November 7, court sets November 20 as judgment date. November 20, 2025, Federal High Court convicts Kanu on all 7 counts: terrorism, treasonable felony, unlawful society, sentenced to life imprisonment for concurrent life terms. Kanu is forcibly removed from court for unruly behavior. We all saw that. Prosecution proves case beyond reasonable doubt, okay? Citing U.S. precedent on rendition not invalidating trials. I don't know what the U.S. has to do here, but okay, it's fine. November 21, 2025, Kanu transferred to Sokoto Maximum Security Prison, Northern Nigeria. I don't know why. Sparking outrage over symbolism. Sokoto as the caliphate seat. IPOB vows no retreat. Sit-at-home orders resume in Southeast. UK Foreign Office monitoring as dual citizen. Southeast governors call for calm. Free Nnamdi Kanu trends. Appeal expected. Peter Obi urges dialogue and reconciliation. Also, Bianca also did that. Yoruba at appeal acute, so not a tribe issue. Well, Yoruba acquitted, another Yoruba gave him the life sentence. So again, I think at the end of the day, it's not just, I don't think tribe has anything to do with this. But again, I believe that those people that support Nnamdi Kanu will disagree with me. But again, it is what it is. I think we'll just keep watching. I expect the appeal to be filed very soon. And I think when they get to appeal, they should be able to, present. The lawyers should be allowed to do their jobs. Nnamdi Kanu should just take a seat and not even intervene. Let the lawyers do their job. That's what else can go wrong, right? What else can go wrong? So again, that's it. Prosecution case focus on Kanu's broadcasting inciting violence. So everything they have is this, then IPOB prescription and ESN linked attack. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Kanu is now 57. Oh, wow. Okay, and he's in Sokoto prison. I don't even know why they would have moved him to Sokoto. I don't know what rational reason that is. IPOB has rejected that. Okay, fine. Yeah, it is what it is. Just wanna put that down. Yeah, the struggle is real. Let me see you won't believe this. A terrorist openly lambasts a man who calls for the release of kidnapped Kebbi. What? Wait, is Nigeria a real country or are we in a simulation? At times I think we're in a simulation. Terrorists calling for the release of... Okay, let me... Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. Again, okay. We'll see what happens. A Yoruba lady angrily condemns Justice Omotosho, the presiding judge, and Chief Adegboyega Awomolo, lead prosecutor. Both Yoruba men, along with other Yoruba individuals, she accused of conspiring with Fulani interests to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu, leader of IPOB, was sentenced to life in prison. She declares that this marks the second time the Yoruba betrayed the Igbo people and warned that the recent betrayal will backfire badly. She further cautioned the Yoruba that their current alliances with the Fulani to punish the Igbo will come at an every price. The face is even scary a little bit, bro. Yeah, I learned he had very great counsels. He should just allow them to do their job. Because it's getting very dark. He should allow them to do their job. Why is she? This guy is always talking. Let me listen to the guy.
We explain this judgment after 10 years. How? How do we explain this? Well, I said they should be calm. But, well, they are calm. but you are calm in the face of injustice, and it's going from generation to generation to generation. Abba, when are we going to correct this? When are we as a nation going to correct this? How can we be in sin and expect his grace to abound? A nation in sin and is expecting development, is expecting growth. You are telling a whole region, just stay calm, don't worry, stay calm. And now they've transferred the guy to Sokoto State. Abba, Igbo man, Igbo prisoner sent to Sokoto State. Is that, come on, how do we explain this? Kidnappers, bandits, you rehabilitate them, put some in our army,
That's
put some
crazy.
in a good position. But this guy, for 10 years, can't you say, oh, you've been here for 10 years, go out, go and see no more. So now you are, how do we explain jailing this guy for life? How? How? I don't know how to explain this.
Tell us your view of how you feel about this ruling.
Well, the ruling is very controversial, and the
100%.
controversy didn't start with the judgment. It started all through the trial, has been very controversial, starting from the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu way back in 2015. Everything surrounding his detention, his extraordinary rendition, and now all the issues surrounding the trial in court, they have all been marred by controversy, and of course, rightly, as you rightly said, has divided opinion, especially with respect to all men being equal before the law, between North and South. There are so many issues, bordering on politics, issues of legality, issues of so many issues, and they have just cast the judgment in seemingly bad light.
Yeah, I mean, just checking what's happening, and it's just crazy. Why didn't Peter Obi sue Nnamdi Kanu after a public call him a gay? Yeah, I mean, it's politics, and also at the time, I mean, I don't know, man. It's what it is, right? I'm not gonna listen to that one. I just appeared on Russian TV to speak on the security situation in Nigeria, and I stated the reality as it is. We are facing coordinated attack by criminal gangs who are exploiting ungoverned spaces in the northwest, northwest and the north central, but the government is not holding its arm. What does this mean? We are facing coordinated attacks by criminal gangs who are exploiting ungoverned spaces. I thought Nigeria is under government. What does it mean by ungoverned spaces? It's trying to talk about the bush, the forest, and all those other places. Hello, they're not ungoverned spaces. They're under a local government. They're under a territory. They're under the map of Nigeria. This is how these people do propaganda, right? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered intensified operation in the affected corridors, including the deployment of special forces, expansion of intelligence network, and disruption of ransom economy that funds this group. The military and the security agencies are already carrying out targeted strike on identified camps, rescue mission, and blocking movement along major forest routes. I made it clear that the president is fully engaged with state governors, service chiefs, and local security formation to close the security gap and take back control of vulnerable communities. Nigeria is going through a difficult phase, but the government is responding with urgency, coordination, and a renewed determination to end this attack and protect every Nigerian life. Again, Tinubu has not actually come out to give a press conference reiterating the value of the Nigerian lives. I'm just saying. But now, at least, this might be something that we can hold on to say this is what the presidency is doing at this time. Now, let me listen to what they have to say.
The Trump administration co-opted the gathering to claim Nigerian authorities are ignoring violence against Christians there. Abuja denies the accusation, using strong words of protest over its exclusion from the UN event.
It is important to ensure the country concerned in the ongoing allegations of genocide against Christians is present, aware, and has a voice in the matter. We asked the US authorities if it was okay to continue to shave someone's hair in his absence. We further highlighted that the Nigerian government is not standing idly by to watch the atrocities perpetrated by the criminals.
Earlier this month, Donald Trump ordered the Department of War to prepare for a potential military operation in Nigeria. He threatened Abuja with serious consequences if it fails to prevent the targeting of Christians.
Okay, so these are places where people call green zones, bush, forest, vastland. Yeah, but they under the Nigerian map, they would be under certain local government, even though there are no much activities there. But the fact that they stayed there and then they come out to rob people, they move into homes, right? And all of those. It's just crazy.
Nigerian officials repudiated Mr. Trump's remarks, pointing out that the violence has affected all ethnic and religious groups. Washington is now considering sanctions.
The Trump administration is developing a plan to incentivize and compel the Nigerian government to better protect Christian communities and improve religious freedom. This plan will consider U.S. state and Treasury engagement on sanctions, as well as possible Department of War engagement on counterterrorism and other efforts to protect religious communities.
Let's discuss this now live with Nigerian presidential spokesperson Daniel.
What happens to be our Atiku spokesperson in the 2023 elections? What a country.
Well, Daniel, good to have you on the program with us. Nigerian representatives were not invited to that U.S.-organized United Nations meeting over the situation in your country. What are your thoughts on that? Why was Nigeria excluded?
Well, first of all, I'm not aware of that. But if this is true, then that is sadly not supposed to be the path to resolving problem, because I think it's consistent with the principles of natural justice that there is fair hearing. This is also consistent with what happened in the United States Congress, I think about 2-3 days ago, when they had the public hearing.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing.
The congressional hearing on the matter.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing on the show.
They invited witnesses and a couple of others, but the Nigerian government and the Nigerian officials were not invited to tell their part of the story. And so, though it is uncomfortable for us, but we welcome the idea that the U.S. has since moved away from the threat of military invasion to talking about collaboration, because as a government we have demonstrated sufficiently our intention, our resolve in dealing with terrorism, and also our welcoming of partners.
Yeah, your program is current and informative, well-selected airlines. Thanks, sir. Appreciate that.
Partnership, as it were, that would deepen collaboration in this regard. Yesterday, the National Security Advisor of Nigeria had a meeting with the Secretary Pet Hegseth, which is Secretary of War. And we believe that in the coming days, some of those details are going to come out. But we have made progress since the last time when the threat was issued. We have been having direct contact with the U.S. government, and we're making it clear to them that the Nigerian government is needed in all of this engagement. Just the same way you see in what is it called, that's happening between Russia and Ukraine. The way they are managing the situation. So we believe that they will give us equal opportunity in this instance to be a part of this process. And I'm happy with the development as well, that there will be a summit in Nigeria on counterterrorism.
It's encouraging to hear that progress is being made. In terms of this UN meeting over the situation in Nigeria, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres was asked about the Nigerian delegation being excluded and denied knowledge of that. Do you accept that explanation, though? I mean, how do you think an oversight like that could happen?
Well, if in fact he was not aware that a meeting of such was called, then it is fine for him to say he doesn't know about it, because quite frankly, I am also not aware that there was a meeting to discuss Nigeria, which Nigeria was not a part of. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was. Why? Because right now in America, there was a congressional hearing in which Nigeria was not invited. But instead of exacerbating the problem, when we look at the areas of agreement, so we can deepen on that and find solution. Because if you are going to be about blame fixing, I'm sure there will be a lot of blame to go around.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, again, we need action. Exactly. For 2 years now, Tinubu has been there, right? Again, I mean, the question is, 2 years, the situation has gone from bad to worse. And yeah, you might say that there are forces beyond him, or there are external forces, or even maybe from the West. You have influences from the West or from wherever. It is what it is, you know? Exactly. We need action. We need action, because I see I don't know, man. Let's just listen to this guy.
Was invited to this meeting, and she echoed the American claims that Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. Why is Minaj, she's a foreign celebrity who's not even from Nigeria. Why do you think she's been considered an authority on this?
I think all Americans are aware that Nicki Minaj has a declining profile and importance in the music industry. So that, to her, is a good opportunity for her to revive her music career and reinvent herself. She has never, I'm not sure if she has ever been to Nigeria, and she has never been in Nigeria long enough to know the intricacies of Nigeria's problem. But I think that the idea of Nicki being there is just to bring about the public
social proof.
Profile. I mean,
social
I don't know
proof.
the right word to use,
Yeah,
but
social proof.
it's just for the optics. It is not necessarily because Nicki Minaj, quite frankly, offer any solution. But you can see that even the Pope, His Holiness the Pope, about 2 days ago, when he was answering questions from the media, he re-echoed the same sentiment of Nigeria, that the situation in Nigeria is not a genocide against Christians. It is indiscriminate killings by terrorists, insurgents, bandits, and their ancillaries against the citizens of Nigeria, which very sadly, Christians are also part of the people that are affected. If you like we said before, and where it bears repeating, all of the reports of all multinational organizations that have given account of the crisis in Nigeria, not a single one has said that there is a genocide of Christians.
You know, the thing is that, and where it gets even confusing and painful to me is that the fact that I'm saying, okay, fine, yeah, both religions have been killed and there's been a lot of talk, right? Again, the fact is this, there's no way to spin it. Okay, Christians have been killed, Muslims have been killed. What have you guys done? Again, it's the same party, right? APC for the past 8 years. And we see at pockets of this issue here and there. Tinubu was definite on day one. He said they care less what anybody thinks. Subsidies gone. Day one. Economic reforms. Reserve building. The people paid the ultimate price of hunger, of pain. Some people in the whole process, lost their jobs and all that because of the sudden, shock of removal of subsidy. Then we get to security. And all we have to say is that it's not just Christians that are dying, Muslims are also dying. And I'm like, show me the framework. What has been done? Kidnappings almost every now and then. So again, they're just holding on this straw man of, it's not a Christian genocide, but people are being killed.
The only report that the congressman...
Nicki Minaj's friend in Nigeria? Yeah, I mean, she has fans in Nigeria. That I can say.
Report by an apologist of a separatist movement in Nigeria who sadly created the scenario that we're all seeing. But the good thing for us is that the global consensus around the point of Nigeria, that we do recognize there is a problem. We do recognize our people are being killed. We do recognize that even the Christians are suffering very hardly. But what we reject is the notion that it is a targeted killing against the Christians alone, because there are Muslims who are being killed. There are people who have not identified as Christians or Muslims who are also being killed. And no government will be responsible if that government is focusing on profiling or profile anti-insurgency war. You can never succeed in that. The minute you begin to agree to profiling in this war against terrorism, then you are going to find a situation where it will deepen the problem, it will create polarization in your country, and at the end of the day, there will be nothing to show as a result. So we are happy that the global world is beginning to agree with us. I mean, the globe, members of the international community are agreeing with us that it is not a targeted killing of Christians, but it is a problem that we all recognize that exists, for which the world is called upon to be a part of this collaborative process for us to deal with it.
Okay.
So can you tell us what concrete steps the Nigerian government is taking to curb attacks by these insurgents and protect civilians?
So knowing that we have limited number of military forces, we have less than 400,000 soldiers, we have less than 400,000 police, we have over 230 million population, we have porous borders, we have large landmass, ungoverned spaces, and we have foreign interests in this. Knowing the complexity of the situation, the Nigerian armed forces have decided to recruit, I think, about 19 or 20,000 people into the military force. This is one of the steps we are taking. We have expanded the scope of our fight against insurgency. Also, in our collaboration with the United States government, we are identifying specific weapons and weaponry that we need in dealing with this situation. Because if there is anything that confers America advantage over Nigeria in terms of seeing the problem, it is intelligence gathering, which helps them in knowing the polarization, the movement, and the effect of this attack. So we ask for a deeper relationship in the area of intelligence gathering, which means we might need the supply of weapons that do the work of reconnaissance. We also need expanded access to the fight, because some of the weapons we bought from the United States are restricted to be used only in the northeastern Nigeria. And you can see by recent development that this insurgency is going to the north central, going to the northwest, and even attempting to go to the southwestern Nigeria. So because of this spread of this insurgency, we will need expanded access for the use of this equipment so we can deal with it.
In terms of the tensions between Nigeria and the U.S., and again, I know you said that there is improvement in relations between the two countries, but what do you think the UN can do to help resolve the ongoing tensions that we see?
I think that the voice of the United Nations will also be helpful, especially because America is part of the UN. In fact, it is from UN that America drew the legitimacy to lead in this global fight against terrorism. What people don't realize is that unlike other cases of crime, when it comes to terrorism, it doesn't belong to one country. The fight against terrorism is a global concern. There is a global consensus that fight against terrorism is a fight that affects everyone. And that means the entire members of the United Nations are required to be a part of this process in dealing. Because gradually Africa is beginning to be the haven for these terrorism activities. And therefore, I believe that the United Nations will have a lot to play in terms of bridging the gap that exists between Nigeria and the United States on some of the details of the specifics where we disagree, so that we can have once and for all a global consensus on one target, a global consensus on one approach, or global consensus on how to go about it. So we welcome the idea that United Nations is interested and is already begun the process of taking her place in this endeavor.
Donald Trump is threatening to impose sanctions and even deploy troops in Nigeria if Abuja cannot stop the killing of Christians by themselves. And thank you for clarifying that these extremists are not targeting just Christians. But what is your response to that threat by Trump?
You can see that the threat has what we call, in law, what we call an exception, right? Or a condition precedent, that if Nigeria doesn't do that, Nigeria is going to do it. Nigeria is willing to do it. Nigeria requires additional weapons, expanded cooperation in order to do it. Wow. So when the threat started, it was all about military invasion. But
oh, sorry, this just caught my eyes. Yeah. If they support, the best method to fight insecurity is by going after their sponsor, 100%.
Because they can see
100%.
Demonstrably the effort of Nigeria in that, we are now coming to the point of collaboration. Collaboration will mean that there will be no need for the American forces
too many sabotage,
but there will be assistance from the American government on those things that we need in order to deal with that. The reason America is successful in her anti-terrorism war is because of the assets that they have. And Nigerian soldiers have the requisite training. If you give us the asset, then we can have this result within a short period of time. So I'm happy to tell you that I do not think with the progress we're making, it will come to that point where sanction will be given. However, if America has a cogent and compelling case against any citizens of Nigeria to give sanction to them, Nigeria will be open to those possibilities if the possibilities are not politically motivated, but they are purely based on this fight against terrorism.
Okay.
Why do you think Trump is so focused on the killing of Christians in particular in Nigeria when, in fact, it's other communities as well that are suffering from violence?
That is because of how the information got to him. It began, first of all, with a report from a group and an organization called Inter-Society for Civil Liberties and Human Rights. That report in itself inherently has a problem because the report projects the aspiration of a separatist movement, but that's how it began. Then that report was assimilated by some members of the U.S. Congress, like Senator Ted Cruz, Riley Moore, Congressman Riley Moore, and others. When those ones started pushing this agenda or pushing this narrative, before you know, it got to the ears of President Trump, and he took action on the basis of that. One good thing about dialogue is that it affords the opportunity for us to find out the details, even for us to substantiate or debunk the claim
Too
made
much
in the
talk,
first place. And I believe that we're coming very close to it, but that is how it began. And I'm happy that President Trump has demonstrated that he really wants to help us. We're interested in the help. But
America should call Vice President to question his connection to Boko Haram. I mean, people have been saying that. Like this week, like, what are those guys doing in his house when he was a governor, right?
In the course of this,
allegedly,
we are sure that some of these falsehood and fake news surrounding this situation are going to die down as we continue this deepening collaboration.
Nigeria, of course, is not the only country that Trump is threatening to put boots on the ground in. He's also attacking Venezuela with claims it's harboring drug cartels.
Yeah,
Venezuela
you spoke
and
about
Nigeria
that one.
are far apart geographically. But do you think that these two countries are being singled out by the U.S. for other reasons, underlying political reasons?
There are lots of theories, actually. There are theories surrounding this. And some of the theories are worthy of consideration. There are theories around, okay, because there are similarities between Nigeria and Venezuela in that both of them have oil. There are also similarities in the fact that, okay, Venezuela's policy sometimes is inconsistent with the U.S. policy. Nigerians' identification with the BRICS might also irk the United States of America. There are also other theories that Nigeria's participation in the UN and taking a position against inhumane treatment in Gaza might be a factor. There are lots of theories.
Yeah, if they're bringing their weapons, they need to. You see how their weapon got missing or got left behind in Afghanistan. And you see all those Talibans decorating themselves and streaming the weapons of the US. Some of them couldn't even fly. Some of those stuff. It's just messed up. So again, I think if they're going to get involved, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be more at the strategic level. They might release some weapons, but I'm not so sure if they're going to put boots on the ground, because the right wing of the party, the Republican Party, are tired. They're practically tired of having US soldiers go to faraway land to fight their own, their own wars or to solve their own problem. And there's been a gesture of withdrawal of a lot of all these forces, US forces from all around the world, because they're also tired of getting involved in a lot of all these problems. So again, I don't know at what capacity, what capacity the United States will be bringing stuff in. I'm not even sure that they are disposed to coming into Nigeria. And the indication that Trump gave, it will be fast and swift, is just talking about maybe some drone stuff or some bombings and all that. He's not going to put I don't think he's going to put foot on the ground, especially when there is no direct attack impacting the US. So again, I'm still wondering how he plans to do that.
On the ground. But we as a country, we are looking at the solution. And let me tell you something that is very vital. And that's the way we Nigerians view the messaging coming out of the US or out of Donald Trump. We look at it from we tend to leave out the rhetorics and look at the solution. An example to collaborate our point is, you remember in the event leading to the elections in New York, Donald Trump has taken a very hard stance against Mandami. In fact, at the point, he threatened that if Mandami wins, that he was going to withdraw the U.S. federal aid to New York. And the rhetoric was so heavy. Mandami, on the other hand, was also saying all sorts of things. But yesterday, they met at the White House. The resultant effect was a different thing. He was friendly with Mandami, and when he was asked if he could help Mandami, he said more than anything else, he was going to help Mandami. So sometimes,
that's typical Trump, right?
You might misread the intention of Donald Trump. But if you look at the substance of the case, at the end of the day, when you have a sit down, that will certainly going to be an understanding that will bring out a better outcome. This is the perspective and the approach that the Nigerian government is giving to the whole brouhaha.
That's an excellent point there. One last question for you. What message would you like to send to your fellow Nigerians who may be watching, and possibly to policymakers in Washington and at the UN?
I will continue to appeal to the Nigerian people, especially those ones who are losing their loved ones because of intense insecurity in Nigeria. I will appeal to them to be patient with government. Let's cooperate with government. Let's join government in this fight. When it comes to terrorism, it's not a fight against one. It's a fight against have to all come together in order to fight that. I also want to tell them to be patient. Nigerian government is making the process that is required. We are bringing out sweeping reforms. We have rejigged the security forces. We have expanded our access and purchases of military equipment. We are deepening our ties with the United States government and all other partners that will be of help. And certainly, the spirit of the Nigerian.
Okay, so again, yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's talking about Trump. Yeah, Trump will always go to the extreme, and also at times he talks very, abrasively, just for him to get some responses, and he also pushes some, theories and all that. And at the end of the day, he can only do what he can do. He's not the savior. Okay, so again, we should just know that he's also human. And there are also different forces working behind the scene that may not even have Nigeria's interest at heart and just interested in whatever it is that they want to get. But that being said, I think from a point of Trump's tweet and what I've seen him do, I think he's more interested in ensuring that the killings stop. That's just what I would say. I mean, there is a lot of theory circulating here and there. Now, this is the guy that Daniel Bwala referenced, talking about the guy. This is the newly elected mayor of New York. It was a very heated race. I mean, Trump even threatened that was going to arrest him at that point. But then here is him in the White House, with President Trump, after saying, well, he's ready to work with him. So again, it's politics, but at times when it's time to walk, you're going to walk. So let me just see if I can watch this. I might skip it and just binge watch.
I actually told the president that, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we asked those New Yorkers who had voted for the president, when we saw an increase in his numbers in New York City, that came back to...
Yeah, patient, and people are going down on a daily basis. I mean, that's the sad reality. Yoruba media are the problem of this country. Yeah, whatever that means. I cannot get that. It's really bad. It's really bad. Again, I'm saying that we are the ones that can help ourselves. No matter what it is, we are the ones that can help ourselves. And while I think that it's good that Trump has brought the spotlight to this whole thing, at the end of the day, I mean, Nigeria is still a sovereign country. You might not like it that way, but it is what it is. And I mean,
same issue, cost of living. And they spoke about the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, the cost of Con Ed, the cost of childcare. And too often...
So this is the mayor of New York, the newly elected mayor, meeting with Trump. And let me just see if I can watch something there.
Politicians are looking to lecture to New Yorkers what they should care about as opposed to listen. And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focus on that same cost of living, and that's where I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
And I think we have to work a little bit. We talked about Con Edison. We have to work a little bit on getting the prices because, we've gotten fuel prices way down, but it hasn't shown up in Con Edison. And we're going to have to talk to them. If we're sending them fuel at a much lower price than it was a year ago, which is true, we have to get Con Edison to start lowering their rates.
Absolutely.
And if I may, last week you told me you were pushing ahead with your plans to sue BBC for up to $5 billion. You're going to speak to Prime Minister Starmer as well. Is there any progress or any updates on those issues?
Well, we get along very well with the Prime Minister. We made a deal with UK. I like him. He's a fine person. And, I think they have some big energy problems. They've got windmills all over the place. They're going to have to start using other methods because their energy is out of control. Talking about in the UK.
Hi, welcome to the show.
And
he's
got that problem. He's got a big immigration problem, as you know, and he's got a big energy problem. And we talk about it. He's a good man. Prime Minister's a good man.
You had a chance to speak this week.
I haven't spoken this week.
Mr. President, have you spoken to President Zelensky, or do you intend to
Who?
President Zelensky about your plan to meet with him?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president. And it's
okay. Again, it's good that it's urgent and all that. But then the reality, okay, look at Ukraine and Russia war. I mean, before Trump became president, was saying day one it was going to solve the problem. As of today, they're still fighting. So again, some of these things are not as simple and straightforward, and that's just the problem. I want the killing to stop as much as you do, but again, there are just, I mean, it's just the way the world is. If something can be done today, if a button can be, that's why I'm saying that primarily it's the duty of the president of Nigeria to ensure that the whole country is safe. When you start bringing in foreign country, there's a lot of nuances to that, you know. Yeah.
Shame, and I thought they should have acted quicker, but it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy producing plants have been under attack.
I know UK is going through a lot, and I don't even know. Even the same thing with Canada too, right? Going through a lot. And again, that being said, I don't know if you guys noticed or heard about it. There was a leaked Ukraine and Russia peace deal. I'm going to see if I can just look through that before I call it off, call it a day. But again, that is also trending, and we'll see what's happening. Yeah, let's see this. Yeah, thanks for that, Ekma. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. You know, last month they lost 25,000 soldiers.
Wow.
This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. And they're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on, and I think they're getting reasonably close, but I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead, and we worked something out on that. But so many, and the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker, but it does take 2 to tango. And now you just see all the death. And, you know, it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people that really it's on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah, fair
That's
point.
a war that should have never happened.
Yeah.
It did happen. I blame the person also sitting right behind this desk. This is a war that should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened.
Always blaming Biden. Every small opportunity, we shall bring Biden into the whole gist.
If I were president, but we're trying to save a lot of lives. They're losing 25. Think of that, 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian, and it's a shame.
I've been expecting our president to say something. I've been calling this out for the past few days. Let it just be like a press conference or something to tell people that, you know what, I mean, you don't need to divulge strategic issues or tactical plans, but just even addressing the nation. Yeah, I mean, Trump, I mean, they're looking at it. There's a lot of activities being done behind the scene in the US. I mean, the congressional meetings and all of that. Ribadu is meeting with Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War. I mean, I saw that tweet from Pete Hegseth earlier today. So again, that was yesterday anyways. Again, I think there are a lot of things being done behind the scene. So you want that guy that doesn't know what to say, Bala Blue. I'm okay. Let's move on.
I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist. And your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay, you can just say yes.
Okay.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And I wanted to ask also about this Ukraine plan.
Yeah.
President Zelensky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean,
either giving up a partner or
yeah.
dignity. There's been
yeah, I got
Even he doesn't
that.
like it?
Yeah, the fascist question and that. Yeah, I mean, if Tinubu addresses the nation, politicians generally, they just, their speech is always just centered around three major things. This is what we will do, this is what we're doing, and this is what will be done. At the end of the day, right, that's the only set of people allowed to lie without going to jail.
It's unclear. He was sort of tenuous.
He'll have to
thanks for
like
the
it,
follow.
and if he doesn't like it, then, they should just keep fighting, I guess,
The suggestion that you made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it, that the U.S. would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some point, he's going to have to accept something. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. Don't forget, I inherited this war. I would have never, this war never would have happened.
True.
I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done too if you had the right president, but you didn't have the right president.
Mr. President, cost of living is something that you and Mr. Nnamdi seem to agree on.
Right.
Democrats have run New York City for a long time, Mr. Nnamdi. Do you see Democrat policy specifically as being a problem? And I'd like that to be a question that both of you could answer in New York City.
Look, I think that there are many things in our city where we have to own the responsibility of it, things that existed long before the president was the president. And those are also part of the message of our campaign, was to take on a broken politics of the past. And I ran against a number of candidates who represented different versions of that past. And what we found time and again is that working people were left behind in the politics of our city. And what we're looking to do is put those people right back at the heart of our politics so that we don't have a situation where we're in the wealthiest city in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 5 can't even afford $2.90 for a Metro card.
We had some interesting conversation, and some of his ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. It's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were, we had, both of us, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country the last 4 years under the Biden administration. And we've got inflation down now to a normal number. It's going to go even a little bit lower than that. Katie, do you have something in a bit?
President, thank you so much. Mr. Nnamdi often talks about New York City being covered by international law, that they will follow international law. Doesn't often talk about the U.S. Constitution. What is your response to that?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to in terms of it could be covered by international law, local law. It's covered by.
Hi, welcome back to the show.
But it's covered by U.S.
Yeah,
law.
he doesn't like Biden
Are you
at
referring
all.
to anything in particular?
He just says that they're a city that endorses and enforces international law. Is that at odds with?
No, I don't know. Would you want to respond?
Yeah, I think what I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
We were with ICE.
We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2 children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
What we did is we discussed crime. More than ICE per se, we discussed crime. And he doesn't want to see crime, and I don't want to see crime. And I have very little doubt that we're not going to get along on that issue. He wants to, and he said some things that were very interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of apartments built, etc. And we actually, people would be shocked, but I want to see the same thing.
Mr. Nnamdi, the anti-Israel protesters.
Jack?
Mr. President, I want
it's getting tougher, right?
policies as well that
Mayor-elect Nnamdi talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech,
Good luck with that.
Didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the President and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our
But to be
city.
clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear,
That's what you said.
no, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to
This guy is a politician. I don't even, I'm not a fan though, but again, it is what it is, right?
tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Okay, we'll see that. We'll see more about that.
Please, go ahead.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters just targeted a synagogue in New York. Are you concerned about Jewish New Yorkers feeling welcome and safe in the city? And President Trump, you threatened to cut off federal funding to New York City. What policies would prompt you to do that? Would that be city-run grocery stores?
Hi, hello, James.
Well, I think
Welcome
if
to
we
the show.
didn't get along, whether it's cut off or just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much, we want to see, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, subject to what policies are being said. We had a meeting today that actually surprised me. He wants to see no crime. He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with. Now, we may disagree how we get there. The rent coming down, I think.
Fair enough, yeah.
One of the things I really gleaned very much today, he'd like to see him come down, ideally, by building a lot of additional housing.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate way. He agrees with that, and so do I. But if I read the newspapers and the stories, I don't hear that. But I heard him say it today, and I think that's a very positive step. No, I don't expect. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. A big help, because I want New York City to be great. Look, I love New York City. It's where I come from. I spent a lot of years there. Now I'm right here. We took a big setback with the mayor that we had, Dave de Blasio. I thought it was a tremendous setback for the city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President, Mr. President.
Yeah, okay, how about you? Go ahead, please.
You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City?
No, he moved to Florida when they almost destroyed his empire in New York. So again, I don't think New York is home again for him. Let me see what he says about that.
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. He may have different views, but in many ways, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on. Tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I.
Oh, wow. Someone calling out Trump here. Trump will cut funding to an American city, but shovel billions to Israel, no matter what shit pull. So much for American first. Yeah, I mean, Scotland is his home. Yeah, he also said that too. Yeah, when he visited, the United Kingdom and all that. Yeah, plays golf. I mean, at the end of the day, right? It is what it is.
Agreed on much more than people thought, and when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But, no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a
very
question
controversial.
a very quick one for the mayor. Why did you fly here?
Very, very controversial. The fact that he even, lost in 2020. And then they went after him. They impeached him the second time. And then he came back again, ran for presidency and won. Of course, it's going to be in the history book for a long time, right? Yeah.
Train screener.
I will use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes. Well, but I know, but it'd be fluid. That's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes and driving takes you a
And
long
Mr.
time.
President, I was wondering if you could clear up some confusion around a Washington Post report. There was this explosive report that the Coast Guard is no longer going to characterize swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. DHS called that a lie and fake news. Can you clear up?
I don't know anything about it. When was this written?
I think yesterday.
Well, look, the Coast Guard's an incredible group of people. I know them very well. We just ordered a lot of new Coast Guard cutters, beautiful, the most magnificent ship. They look like yachts with lots of guns on them. So I don't know. I haven't seen any report like that, but certainly we want them to remain a great force, and they are.
Mr. President, and you did the peace in all the 9 months around the world. I would like to ask Mr. Mamdani, you've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also the following through on the promises we've made New Yorkers. And I appreciated the meeting we had and the work that we can do.
Do you agree that President Trump
it's tactical.
worked hard to make the peace because he worked hard to do the peace in the Middle East and everywhere? Do you agree with that?
I appreciate all efforts towards peace, and I shared with President Trump that when I spoke to Trump voters on Hillside Avenue, including one of whom was a pharmacist that spoke about how President Trump's father actually went to that pharmacy not too far from Jamaica Estates, that people were tired of seeing our tax dollars fund endless wars. And I also believe that we have to follow through on the international human rights, and I know that still today those are being violated, and that continues to be work that has to be done no matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President.
He's a politician. He's a politician. Israel has broken every single international law on black ink. Yeah, Israel would do what Israel would do, right? I mean, there's a big debate in the United States with respect to the support of Israel. I mean, it's very heated. Even in the Republican Party, it's kind of tearing that party apart right now. You have the wing of the American first, and then you have the wing of those who still want the United States to intervene in Israel's issue. And that has been a very, very big battle in the right. I don't even know. And even within the MAGA are the kind of the fan base of Trump supporters. It's kind of split that into two. And again, some people are saying that the theory is that come 2028, right? 2028 elections and all that, that there seems to be some, movement all around and some kind of, deals being made and all of those. And people are trying to actually know who takes over from Trump. So there's been a lot of, infighting in Trump's party. And it's been really, really interesting to watch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer's and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused on New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats. I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City, and I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I always said, one of the things I would love to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially...
Mayor, you're the president, bro. You don't need that again. So there are 3 major mayors in the West that they actually rank as high. The mayor of New York, the mayor of London, and the mayor of Toronto. Those 3 mayors, those are the big deal. When you talk about mayor, forget about any other mayors. Some of the mayors are even powerful with respect to that, yeah. Yeah, it's psyching him a lot. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this lasts. We'll see what happens.
Now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great. I appreciate what you're saying.
Mr. President, you say you love New York City. Mr. Mamdani, does New York City love President Trump?
New York City loves a future that is affordable. And I can tell you that there were more New Yorkers who voted for President Trump in the most recent presidential election because of that focus on cost of living. And I'm looking forward to working together to deliver on that affordability agenda.
I got a lot of votes. One more. Go ahead. One or two more. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're not friends, right?
I tell you, the press has eaten this thing up. You know, I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of major countries. Nobody cared. This meeting that you people have gone crazy. You know, outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group. For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, I was going to ask you exactly that. Why do you think there's so much more, so much excitement around this thing in some form?
Because I think he's different. All right? I think he's different, and that can be in a very positive way. But
yeah, I mean, they need to watch out for this guy. I mean, his politics, I would see his politics unravel. I mean, he calls himself a Democrat socialist. I mean, everything is good when the socialists first take over. And I also understand the yearning of the US. You know, they see all these billionaires, they see all these monies, all these deals, all these, foreign intervention and all of those. And the homeland keeps, getting weaker and weaker. No major, outside AI, no major infrastructure development that is going to wow the world, or the fastest train, building the fastest train around, major US cities. We're not seeing some of those major development that we should be seeing for a country like the US. So again, the people are like, what's happening? What's happening? And then the wars and all that. So again, it is what it is.
I think he's different than, your typical guy runs, wins, becomes mayor maybe, and
yeah, we'll cover this stuff.
Because he has a chance to really do something great for New York. New York is at a very...
Yeah, and Trump hates the mayor of London. Hates him with a passion. And the guy also returns the same, right?
Critical point. And he does need
real
help from the federal government to really succeed, and we're going to be helping him. But he's different than, your average candidate. He came out of nowhere. I said... He has a great campaign manager standing over there. He came out of nowhere. What'd you start off at 1 or 2? And then I watched. I said, who is this guy? He was at 1, then he was at 3, then he was at 5, then he was at 9. Then he went up to 17. I said, let's get a little bit interesting, right? And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
And I'll just add one thing to what the president said. Is one thing I also appreciated is in our meeting to appreciate a portrait of FDR and the incredible work that was done with the New Deal, and also in thinking about what it can look like when the federal government and New York City government work together to deliver on affordability. It can be transformative.
We have a great portrait of FDR that I found in the vaults that was missing for years. I found it and I put it up. He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat. And when the mayor saw that portrait, he said, "Sir, do you mind if I have a picture taken by that portrait?" It's an amazing portrait. I hope the picture comes out good. But it's an amazing portrait in the cabinet room. So he's a big fan of the New Deal, I guess, and of FDR. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
You said that you both spoke about crime.
It's messed up.
Many police officers set to come off the rolls at the end of this year in New York City. Are you going to allow those police to be replaced with police officers, actual cops? And are you going to require that happens? Would there be some consequences?
Well, I hope it happens, but again, that's going to be ultimately the mayor's decision.
What's your answer?
Is that I look forward to delivering public safety with the NYPD, and I've said over the course of our campaign that we have the number of police officers today. They are the ones that's budgeted about 35,000 headcount. And I think the key thing is that we have to make it easier for police to focus on police work, not ask them to respond to 200,000 mental health calls a year.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the headcount that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social workers?
No, I've said that's the headcount that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. Commissioner Fish.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Say she's really good, really
Thanks for
competent,
joining.
and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
Are there still topics that you see that you're disagreeing on in the future, and do you think you'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we disagree on. I think we'll probably come to a conclusion, and ultimately, he'll convince me, or I'll convince him. It's for the good of New York. Ultimately, it's for the good of New York. I don't care about affiliations or parties or anything else. I want to see if this city could be unbelievable. If he could be a spectacular success, I'd be very happy.
Do you think you guys will meet more in the future too?
Excuse me?
Do you think you'll meet again in the future? Throughout the administration?
I think we will. I think we will. I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of?
She's a very capable person. But you really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again. And I can say again, because New York was great. When I came down to Washington initially, the city was so hot. It was doing great. We were having some telltale signs of problems. We had a mayor that was not doing a great job, but still, it was moving along. And it went bad. It really went, pretty bad. And I think it's been at lower points, but it went pretty bad. I think he can bring it back. Now, the question is, will he bring it back all the way? Will he bring it back greater than ever before, which is, I guarantee, that's his wish. I think he wants to make it greater than ever before. And if he can, we'll be out there cheering. I'll be cheering for him. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so that's Trump. Highlight of the week. This guy won. The major upset. People were not even, thinking about him a few months ago, and now he's one of the powerful mayors in the world. And I met with Trump. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's a politician. I mean, I'm not a fan, but again, he's very smart. Yeah, he ran a good campaign also, focused on the issue that was affecting, affecting New Yorkers. And he has a lot to do. New York is in a very, very dire state right now. But we'll see what happens. And again, I just want to end, I try to end with what's happening around the world just to put things into perspective and all of that. But really right now, the war between Ukraine and Russia has been dragging for so long. They've failed to, see reasons or even to have peace. So I just caught this news and, just still trying to figure out what the hell is happening. So peace effort and initial leak. So there's a leak actually between the peace plan that we saw, and that's what has been happening right now, like with the war in Ukraine and Russia. Is this your final offer to Ukraine? So they're saying that thing that leaked is not really a leak, that it's actually real. So they were first accusing Russia of leaking that plan and claiming it as a win. But I just want to see, like, along with everybody. Man, I hate when he picks interviews right near his military plane or even Air Force One. The noise is just so crazy. Let me see if I can get anything from this one.
Is this your final offer to Ukraine?
No, not my final. No, we'd like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago. The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened. If I were president, it never would have happened. Yeah. We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended. So then he can continue. Then he can continue to fight his little heart out. Say it. Do you have any comment about Bolsonaro's arrest? A former Brazilian president. So I spoke last night to the gentleman you just referred to. And we're going to be meeting, I believe, in the very near future. Sir, are you willing about the president
So you're talking about Lula, right?
being arrested today? What? Any comment about the former Brazilian president being arrested today? No,
Oh, he was arrested today? Oh, wow. So that was, is he Bolsonaro? Or what was his name again? And the current president of Brazil is Lula. So I'm going to look into that story. But not today.
Are you willing? I didn't hear. Is that what happened? Yes, there's a citation.
Wow.
That's too bad.
Yeah, too bad.
That's too bad.
That's too bad, right, yeah. Because that guy is more of like the Trump of Brazil, you know. But he lost his election or whatever happened during the election, I don't know. And that was it. Okay, so this is your final stop. Now, the Ukraine president is responding to the U.S. plan to end the Russia and Ukraine war and talking about that peace plan. I don't think he likes that peace plan. But again, Trump is insisting that Zelensky does not have the old cards. Let's listen. Let me see if I can listen to.
Бажаю здоров'я. Сьогодні у мене була зустріч з представниками Сполучених Штатів. Вагома делегація і дуже серйозна розмова. Американська сторона надала свої пропозиції, пункти плану, щоб закінчити війну. Їхні бачення. Ми з перших днів війни займаємо одну
From the first day of the war, we've upheld one simple position. Ukraine needs peace, a real peace, not that one that will be broken by a third invasion. Okay, a dignified peace with terms that respect our independence, okay, our sovereignty, and the dignity of the Ukrainian people. And it's exactly such terms that we must outline our key principles, outline, okay, and we agree that our team will work on these proposals, okay, to ensure it's all genuine, okay? We will not make any sharp statements, and we're geared up for clear and honest work. Okay? Ukraine and the United States and our friends and partners in Europe and around the world. Okay, these days there are many conversations with European leaders, a lot of correspondence, and I want to thank all of the Ukrainian friends for their support. Okay. Today I spoke with the President of Finland and we're coordinating our efforts. I also remain in constant contact with our leaders, with the President of France. I expect to speak with President Trump in the coming days. Okay, and we're fully aware that American strength and American support can truly bring peace closer. And we do not want to lose that. We're also aware that Russia has no real desire for peace. Okay, otherwise they would have not have started this war. There are many assessments, entirely fair ones, that throughout this year, Russia has tried to do only one thing, namely to delay sanctions and buy more time for its war. The United States has the power to ensure that Russia's willingness to end the war finally becomes serious. I will continue working for this 100%. All of my time is now devoted to this. Okay? Ukraine needs peace, and Ukraine will do everything to ensure that no one in the world can say that we are the ones supposedly undermining diplomacy. This is important. This is just as important that the internal situation in Ukraine allow us to remain strong externally. In the evening, I met with a parliamentary majority faction. Various issues were raised, including sensitive ones, but the agreement is clear. Everyone must work for Ukraine. And this is how it will be. A wartime parliament must be a functioning parliament. And I thank everyone who helps ensure this functioning. And there will be decisions that will support this. Priority number one for everyone is a constructive diplomatic process with the United States and all partners. It is essential to provide stable support for our army and all of our planned defense operation and deep strikes. Diplomacy and defense equally protects the dignity, okay, of our state and the dignity of our people. One more thing, the search for people trapped under the rubble of the residential building in Ternopil that was hit by a Russian missile has continued throughout the entire day. In total, this strike on Ternopil alone has taken the life of 27 people. My condolences to all their families and loved ones. The fate of the 17 more people remain unknown. Ukraine state emergency services and all, they continue working for as long as needed. And everyone involved in these efforts, okay, I don't know what's there. We're standing with Ukrainian rights, okay, working for our states, and defending Ukraine's interests, and the life of our people. Glory to Ukraine. Okay, so that's what he has to say. Meanwhile, I'm trying to see, clock is ticking for Zelensky. Zelensky does not expect this from us. And that's what I mean. Listen to what U.S. Minister said to Zelensky's right to his face. Pay attention to his reaction. Again, let me see what's going to happen. So McConnell used to be the former majority leader of the Senate. I don't think he's still the one there. Anyways, and wants Trump against appeasing Putin on Ukraine's plan. The 28-point plan presented to Ukraine last week asked Kyiv to cede Donetsk and Luhansk to Russia, limit its military to 150,000 troops, drop NATO's ambition, and restrict long-range strike, with face sanctions relief for Moscow. Trump set a Thanksgiving deadline for a response, but U.S. officials clarified it originated from Russia input, not solely Americans' authorship, amid conflicting statements from Secretary Rubio, and that's the Secretary of State, and the State Department. McConnell and fellow GOP hawks, that's those that love war, like Senator Wicker and Graham, urge rejecting territorial giveaway, while European leaders seek revision to protect Ukrainian security, leaving the plan's future uncertain as pressure builds. It's a tough war over there. I mean, the only problem is I don't even know. Ukraine has the U.S. to thank for the loss of life. They allowed themselves to be used as proxy to fight U.S. war. Yes, I agree. I mean, the Ukraine-Russia case is just, it's just a cesspool of corruption, of, international. They just use that country as a breeding ground for whatever it is that the US was doing. So this is the Secretary, Levitt, snaps at reporter when she says Ukraine peace plan doesn't demand much from Russia. Let's look at this.
Sure. Go ahead. On Ukraine, you said this is a good plan. So according to our sources, this proposal demands major concessions from Ukraine and doesn't demand much from Russia. So was Russia involved in drafting
Your
this?
understanding is wrong. Have you read the full plan? You haven't.
Sources said.
Yes.
So if you can give details,
You've read reporting from one side of the war. And so I want you to understand that the administration has talked equally with both sides. You have seen President Trump engage directly with both President Putin and President Zelensky. Likewise, his national security team has as well. In fact, Special Envoy Witkoff and Secretary Rubio met with some of the Ukrainians just in the past week to discuss this very plan. And so just like you saw with respect to Israel and Gaza, we are hearing out both sides of this war to understand what can you commit to end the war. And that's ultimately how we are going to get to an agreeable solution. That's what the president has directed of his team. I know there's a lot of criticism out there and a lot of doubters, but I would just remind you of the historic success that this president and his team accomplished in the Middle East.
Yep.
We believe
in the Middle East,
that is possible with Russia and Ukraine, and we're hoping and working very hard to achieve that.
We'll see where that goes. The 28-point agenda. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Ukraine is just the one on the losing end here. For whatever they can't really, go on the offense, and they're scared of Russia. Russia has a nuclear weapon, so it becomes very difficult. And again, I think Zelensky also. I think once the war is over, I guess his presidency is also going to be over. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. That's what I have for today. Thanks everyone for joining. If you've not subscribed, no pressure. I would appreciate if you can do that. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for helping with the show. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate your help, and you also joining in. Have a good Sunday. And we'll catch you soon. I should come back later in the day, possibly, to cover some more stories. But for now, thanks for joining in, and have a good day. Thank you.